Good evening, and welcome to this week's Nihon Nights, a modern-day Vampire the Masquerade chronicle set in the prefecture of Chiba, Japan. The coterie have already awoken for the night, so will not be doing a rouse check at this point. However, joining us this week is Skull, Clan Bruja, played by comic book Joker. Please do a rouse check to rise from your... no, fuck me. Excellent start, Shiv. Excellent start. I will be committing
It's okay.
seppuku
We still love
during
you.
the break. Elias of Clan Salubri, played by our sect symbol Noscavian. Daisy Moonchild of Clan Ravnos, played by Ms. Hartz. Solomon of Clan Zamitsi, played by Nitro Taipat, who is desperately trying out to be an Armani model this week. And last, but never least, is of course Phoebe, playing the Malkavian Olivia. She's got her character down to a T.
Ha!
Thank you. We begin where we left off last week. The coterie have made their way to an abandoned house that was used to house Solomon's ghoul for a while as a squat. Violet and Marcelina have both disappeared. Marcelina has probably wandered off aimlessly into the night in search of chocolate or something similar, with Violet obfuscating herself and being some sort of bodyguard to her. So far you have found a piece of torn paper with the address of Elysium and Shade's distinctive signature upon it, and a calling card for Shudder. You have one room left downstairs to search, and then the upstairs. And I've just noticed I fucked up the overlay again. But Skull will arrive in his car and join you. How would you like to start?
So there's a downstairs, right?
There's one room left downstairs and the upstairs.
So like a basement, or we'd have to go look to see.
You are downstairs. There's very rarely a
Oh, gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
I would like to wander upstairs.
I'll look around downstairs first.
Olivia, would you prefer wits and awareness or intelligence and investigation?
Wits and awareness.
Roll away. Would you like to stick with it, or would you like a willpower reroll?
I'd only be able to get one more.
I appreciate the face of... That face was a... Why can't I take your fucking fishing rod?
You know, I'll leave it.
Okay. You search around the room. It is not as empty as the others have been so far. There is a waist-high wooden chest of drawers that remains against the wall. One of the drawers has been removed, and there's a short table that rests in the middle of a thick carpeted floor. You search around, not really rummaging too hard into broken drawers or looking under anything. Put your hands up and shrug. Daisy, you make your way up the solid wooden steps, and just as you reach the top, a voice ekes out from the shadows from one of the open doors. Who are you?
Hey man, what's up?
A man bearing several days' worth of stubble staggers out of a doorway. His clothes, although not pristine, are far from tattered rags either. The clothes themselves seem very current and fashionable, a stark contrast to the seemingly elderly man wearing them. I don't remember. Who are you?
Daisy! You should come downstairs and meet my friends.
Okay.
I will take his hand and lead him downstairs.
You notice that it's almost like a natural instinct that you're very careful with this elderly gentleman because he seems extremely delicate. And you'll make your way downstairs. Skull, Solomon, Elias, what y'all doing?
Oh, am I there?
Yeah, yes, that was totally my fault. Yeah, you're absolutely there, having popped a lift on the roof of Skull's car.
That's a problem considering the vehicle doesn't have a roof. Anyway. But, so... Actually...
Skull, thank you so much for allowing me to catch a ride in your trunk. That was so kind of
Yeah, great. Now I just have a question for you.
yes.
Hiroshi Nakamoto. Do any of you know that name?
That hasn't happened yet, sorry.
Oh, has it?
Sorry, that is completely my fault. That's not quite happened yet.
Okay, because...
It's been a week. I'm
ask.
very sorry, everyone. I'm getting over a throat infection, and shit's hit the fan for me this week, and I'm sorry, everybody.
So
I'm sorry, everybody.
You must commit Sudoku.
Sudoku.
Terrible at maths.
Sudoku.
Doesn't require math.
All right. In that case, yeah. So after the thanks, yeah. All right, let's get in there. So because like, who even is here already? Is the rest of us here?
Everyone that you can see is there.
Yes, Daisy's
Okay.
here
Fucking
too.
hope.
She's just upstairs.
Okay, great, awesome. Yeah. And Elias, no problem. There you go. We're here now.
Solomon, it's so good to see you. I'm sorry I was tied up with things with my flock and stuff last week. Did I miss anything of import?
Well, we stopped by. I'm sorry, Olivia. Do you want to? Oh,
Dude.
I thought I saw your box light up. We stopped by the warehouse. I introduced everyone to Ein. I'll have to do that later for you. He's dying to meet you. And then we came here to investigate why my friend Lewis spent several days here in this house before we found him at the country club.
He was quite the Masquerade breach.
Yes, I'm thankful, Olivia, for your help with clearing that up.
Of course.
I'm sorry. Somebody was a breach.
It's okay, he doesn't remember anything now.
No. Wiped clean.
Okay.
I'm helping
Good.
the old man down the stairs. Maybe this guy knows him.
Oh,
This guy, oh,
who is he?
No, who are you?
Back
You
in my
do things.
day, people used to introduce themselves first.
Do you?
He already asked me who I was.
Who are you?
Elias. I'm Elias. It's nice to meet you. A friend of Daisy's, a friend of mine.
Who's Daisy?
I'm Daisy.
Oh, yes. Is she one of
I
my
think you might have trouble
granddaughters?
remembering things.
Hmm. How did you
Surely
get here?
I don't know why he's British now. He's not British. How did he get here? I was brought here. Then I stayed here. Lovely people here. They've all gone now.
How many people were there?
Lots.
Not?
At least 5.
That is quite a bit, probably, for you. Do you remember who brought you here?
And his face will suddenly just become this very straight-faced thing, very serious, eyes would glass over, and he'll just say, "My master."
And that is...
Don't remember.
Well.
Hmm.
I'm all out of ideas. What do you have?
Speaking
There
of
would-
can't remember, is there a chair in the room?
Yeah, there'll be one in the living room.
Okay, I will
Son,
lead him
there'll
to
be
the
a-
chair so he can sit down.
Oh, thank you, thank you. There were devils. Devils wearing the skin of the local people. They came here one night and they told us, me, to leave this place. And everyone just packed up and left. Can't remember much else. It feels like fingers or red hot irons poking their way into my mind. It hurts to try and remember.
And you decided to stay?
Well, of course, some people pay for the hot poker feeling.
Which drug is that?
Yeah, what is this? 1894?
While you're all in the living room, would anyone care to search it again?
I am going to position myself behind this old man. And I'm going to close my eyes. And when I open them, they are completely white. As I use my shiny new Oblivion power to see if I use the Binding Fetter to see if I spot any fetters that belong to ghosts in the area. I don't have to roll for it. It's just, I get to see fetters glowing white at the cost of, it is hard for me to perceive anything that's actually going on in the material realm while I'm using this power.
I shall let you have that for free. Successfully.
I mean,
there are no fetters.
It's also, okay. I mean, it's also no rouse check and no roll. It's just a thing that happens like Oblivion Sight. So.
Yeah, there are no fetters.
I
think Olivia's gonna-
And they're back open. And when they open up, they're his usual brown again.
Ms. Olivia.
She's going to go upstairs and investigate there.
I believe Elias said he was going to poke around the living room again real quick and all.
Yes, I would take a look. If this is a new place, I'd take a look around, see if anything jumps out at me as being out of the usual of interest.
Elias wits and awareness. Olivia, you two make your way up the solid wooden steps. And you will see that there are but 2 rooms upstairs, neither of which have a door on them. One leads straight into an absolutely dilapidated, disgusting bathroom, clearly never cleaned since it was built nearly 40 years ago. The other leads to what could be described only by definition as a bedroom, because it has what appears to be a small futon mattress on the floor and a very thin blanket, exposed floorboards, and not much else.
She'll go into the bedroom.
Inside of the bedroom is a futon mattress and not much else. However, I think for free, you will notice instantly as you cast your gaze around that there are several lighter spots in the room that aren't quite as dust-covered and air-exposed as others, as if there was once something sat there, but is no longer. Elias, would you like success at cost?
No.
You will just stand in the middle of this living room, more concerned about this seemingly elderly gentleman dressed in bizarre clothing for a man of his age and stature, and just cast your eyes round and, well,
Oh, you mentioned these demon fellows. Did they mistreat you or hurt you in any way?
they threatened to hurt us if we didn't leave. Everyone took it very seriously and up and left all of a sudden. I didn't. I chose not to. I don't want to think about that.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I don't mean to stress you out. Can I use Obey on him? Just to kind of calm him down.
Oh, behave.
Oh boy, that's a big chunk.
Oh my.
That's
Us.
Composure or specs against difficulty 2. Number of willpower damage. Okay.
Yeah, the big thing should be if I use it on a mortal, I can basically calm them down. I think that's... Yeah, if successfully used on a mortal, Obey calms them if they're in a turbulent or emotional state. So I'm just trying to put them at ease.
Yep. Composure or specs. Or, well, just do the roll.
It's chamomile tea as a discipline.
Yeah, basically.
That's perfect. That's fine. And he will seem to calm down. You'll notice his shoulders slump slightly, and he gives out a small sigh of relief.
There, you're safe. I'm here to help you.
Thank you. I left an awful lot of things in this room. Have you found anything here?
Is there something
Oh.
we should be finding?
Things.
What he said?
Things.
Things. He did say things. Where are the things at?
In this room.
What, as he says that, what all is left in this room? He's sitting in a chair.
Waist-high wooden chest of drawers against a wall. One of the drawers has been removed, and a short table in the middle of the thick carpeted floor.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go over to the drawers then and just start opening them, looking in them, trying to like feel up under the tops of them when I pull them open to see if there's any like hidden buttons or anything like that.
Wits and awareness or intelligence and investigation, whichever you prefer. For a lovely
Intelligence
description like that, I'm going to make this slightly easier and you're going to find a lot. Yeah, perfect. You rummage through the chest of drawers. You find a folded up piece of paper. Upon unfolding it, you find a flyer that is used by the people in Elias's cult to recruit potential new members. In another one of the drawers, you find an extremely expensive suit. You recognize it almost instantly as the same suit that Cabraxis wore your first night in Chiba. And finally, you find a silver ring engraved with a crown upon it.
Cabraxis was the Tremere, yes?
He was the Ventru Primogen.
Gotcha, okay. Yeah, I would just put this out to everybody. I'm not, well, the suit and the ring, and then I'm just gonna hand the, pamphlet to, Daisy, I guess, because she was helping me she was interviewing this guy.
I'm sorry, what did you hand to me? I had a loud car go by outside.
Oh, you're good. The pamphlet, of, Elias's cult.
I'll show it to the old dude. Was this the people you were with?
Maybe. I remember something about this cult. They may have had people here? Or we had people there? Maybe the person running it was here?
So you were in a cult?
Don't think so. I'm not the kind of person to join a cult. Unless they worship and appreciate goats.
I like goats.
Would I have seen the pamphlet or not?
Don't
Because
Yeah,
that
this
think,
one
depends
probably would, because I'm
how
showing it to him.
yeah, it'd just
Oh.
be between Solomon and Daisy
Oh,
at
I'm
this
not
point.
keeping it. I'm not keeping it hidden.
Yeah, I didn't announce it, but I didn't also pocket it to not
Yeah.
show anybody. So yeah,
Oh, a cult. That sounds rather serious. And Elias would maneuver to sort of look over the old man's shoulder to see the pamphlet he's handing him. Would I recognize them?
Damn right you would.
Do I recognize the old man?
No. It looks
Oh.
kind of like Pruneface from Dick Tracy.
Oh,
Showing
no,
my age there.
this isn't for a cult. No, this isn't for a cult at all. This is just a communal group of people trying to seek spiritual enlightenment.
I'm going to look around at the room in tatters and disrepair. Yes, very enlightened here.
Don't forget you also found the ring, a silver ring engraved with a crown upon it.
Yes, I did announce that to the group of those two things. So I'm merely just sitting here holding it if anybody wants to.
Skull will take it. Just take it. use the binding fetter once more, just to double check.
Give me intelligence and occult, or wits and politics, whichever you prefer.
I'm going to give you intelligence and occult, by which I mean I'm going to give you intelligence.
Refreshing change on this stream. Sorry, everyone. That's fine. That's absolutely perfect. And although this ring is not a fetter, you instantly recognize the symbol engraved upon it as that of the Sombra.
A very interesting mix of I just blanked on a word I was thinking of.
Evidence?
No, things that people own. We've got Shudder, we've got Shade,
Suspects?
we've got no, we've got the word I was trying to give was items belonging to people. But I'm foregoing it.
Take items belonging to people for 100, Alex?
Yes.
Sorry.
It's a goat!
What is a goat? Sorry.
We've got Cabraxis's suit and a ring belonging to potentially a Sombra.
It better belong to a La Sombra, otherwise this is a Masquerade breach.
Well, considering Shade and Shudder have been here, I mean, we know what that crown means, but I doubt nobody on the street.
How big is the ring? Let me rephrase that. Would the
Please.
ring fit on my finger or Skull's?
It would fit Skulls.
Okay, then it must be a man's ring.
Possessions, that was the word.
What is possessions?
Right, sorry, Alex.
Skull will take his dog tag necklace, open the bottom loop, just put the ring on there and clasp it shut. So that way it's just there.
Now, Elias, the only members of your following are at our haven, yes?
As far as I'm aware, yes, we moved all of our humble belongings into the haven as sort of a communal home for us all.
Where were they staying before then?
Well, that was why it was so important for us to find a central location. I tried to support my flock as much as I could, but without a centralized place, they were staying where they could. I assume they were renting rooms at hostels and hotels and whatever they could afford.
And I ran into some of them.
Perhaps.
My apologies, Daisy. What were you asking the old man before I found the suit and the ring?
If he was in a cult.
Yes, but he said something was still in the room, and then I found these objects.
Oh, is this what you were talking about? I asked the man.
Could be. It's very hard to remember details. I don't even remember. And trail off and just start clutching at his head again.
Mr. Storyteller, sir,
Yes.
does this look like someone who's been abused by Dominate far too often?
Would you prefer wits and awareness? You're going to prefer wits and awareness to intelligence and occult.
Let me double check that supposition.
I could do intelligence and...
They are the exact same pool for me.
Then
Oh,
Considering I have Dominate as a discipline, can I make the same, check on the man?
I'll let you give Skull a +1 for that.
Okay.
Well, not for that, but I'll let you give. Yeah. You can give
Because I have
+1.
because I have a decent pool, so...
All right, so I'm gonna do wits and awareness, and
And you
do
can
a
definitely
1
have +1.
modifier.
Yeah. That's fine. You don't need a huge amount of success, as is plural of successes, to understand what this is sat before you. This is a ghoul that he's just been abandoned for far too long without his regnant's blood. And time is catching up with him. Solomon, you'll realize this as well, by the way, because you gave the assist.
Yeah. Do
Skulls
I know? Do I
go
know if giving him more blood would help his memory thing?
It's not this is something you would know, is that it's not as simple as that.
Okay.
Because if his regnant's blood is of a higher potency than yours, or he's of an elder generation, it's not going to do that much. Plus, it's not,
Fair enough.
It's not like oil of Olay. It's not going to rejuvenate him and exfoliate his skin. He'll be the exact same he is now, just stuck.
Fair enough.
Other brands of moisturizer are available.
Can I speak with everybody for just a moment, looking at everybody, all the other kindred in the room?
I'm still upstairs.
Oh, well, then you're not in the room.
Cool.
Skull will kind of step away.
should we leave him alone?
I'm not leaving the room. I just don't want him to hear.
Yeah. All right. I'll step over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Right. This guy used to be a ghoul. And he is slowly becoming a masquerade breach.
I barely think he'll remember his own name in the coming weeks.
I literally refuse to give him that chance.
Yeah.
Well, if you're concerned about him remembering too much, I'm sure I could help with that. I could give him some pleasant memories about uh, living his retirement on a cruise ship and deciding to spend his final days in Japan. Surely that's
Sounds
benign.
nice.
I know, isn't it?
All right. Thank you. Now I don't have to turn him into a splat on the carpet.
Yes, it's certainly nice to avoid senseless violence. We're a happy little coterie after all. We don't need all that.
Are we?
Of course we are.
Thank you, Daisy.
I'm not as chipper as the other two, but I'm quite content.
Then why am I having to cut deals with people outside of this coterie to get things done? Why is half of this coterie not even fucking here half the time?
Yeah.
I don't have to be here
I'm
right
gonna-
now.
Well, Skull, we all have things to do. Not all of us can be here every single night. I mean, surely you've had to work on things outside of the coterie on your own time as well.
Yes, how do you know that people who aren't here aren't out there doing things to get things done like you claim to be?
I'm
'Cause I
never
at
going to
least
let the man
existed.
pin me down.
Except for that one time. I'm going upstairs.
And you'll make your way up the wooden steps and see the disgusting bathroom straight in front of you and the excuse of a bedroom to the right. I'd imagine Olivia is still standing inside of it and just taking in the sight.
How you been doing?
Oh. This room is quite, empty. Not a lot here, but what it lacks shows that there was something here. And she'll point to the dust and the lack of it in a certain spot. I do not like masquerade breaches, and this place feels like one.
Skull will lift up his dog tag necklace, showing the ring. It is one. I'm going to burn it down when we leave.
Once we get all of the information, that seems perfectly fine with me.
Thank you. Excellent. Somebody with reason.
And she's going to walk into the bathroom now, continuing her investigation, focused in thought.
Bathroom, and first thing you'll notice is just how disgusting and sticky the floor is, coated in some unknown substance. The bath is filled with grunge, but not much else. The medicine cabinet that hangs over the disgusting sink that seems more fitting for a spider's nest is completely devoid of anything. However, you will see, sat atop the grungy sink, is a single toothbrush with most of the bristles missing.
Somehow he's maintained to live here this entire time.
Yeah, well, he's a former ghoul.
does interesting.
Eliza's gonna rewrite his memory so that he doesn't become a breach too.
Yeah. Interesting. And she'll wipe a finger along some of the grime and look at it.
Skull's going to use the binding fetter again because, like, with his terrible search pools, it's literally his only way to contribute.
You won't see a single fetter here, and as your vision slowly returns, you'll realize that this room is basically alive with bacteria and germs.
I mean, yeah, but, like, those will fall off of us during the day sleep because we are that fucking static. We're kindred. It's going to be nice burning down this petri dish of a building.
And then
go
look downstairs. Oh,
Olivia, you are able to make your way cautiously and slowly down the wooden steps, probably making note of not to touch too much more on your way down. I assume, Skull, would you like to follow, or are you just gonna... I don't want to think
I'm
about
going to
that.
follow, and I'm going to walk straight out the building to the trunk of my car.
Just you walking out of the building?
If anybody wants to follow me, they certainly can, but I am walking out of the building to the trunk of my car.
Do wits and awareness for me, please.
Yes, I will roll 2 dice.
Worst bit is it's a difficult task as well. It's not worth the re-roll either.
Okay.
And you'll be able to go to your car and grab the suitable supplies you need for the task at hand.
I mean, then it doesn't take me very long in this case because I'm just going to grab a long metal cylinder, move it, close the trunk of the car, walk back into the building, and I mean, like, I suppose if anybody else wants to roll, like, wits and science or intelligence and science, and if you have a demolition specialty, apply that.
Do they need to know? Do they need that just to realize, oh, he's going to blow this fucking thing up?
Well, I mean, like, it'd be good to recognize exactly what it is. Like, it's not a high difficulty though, so.
Nope. Okay. What are the rest of you doing?
Solomon, Daisy, Olivia, do we need to ask our friend here any more questions, or can I go ahead and talk to him about his vacation?
I'd like to know who his master was. I don't know if we'll get that straight from him.
Tried asking him that a couple times.
If he says the right words, it might give us a clue, even if it's not an answer.
I have an idea. I'll go over to him and ask, so these masters that you were talking about, are they Japanese? Where are they from?
I think they're Japanese. This guy's been speaking Japanese, by the way.
I've been speaking it back to him.
You're all so good, apart from Solomon, at speaking Japanese that it just sounds natural to you.
What are you talking about?
Well,
don't
I
know that.
figure when I'm talking to the coterie, I'm talking English, and when I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
to him, I'm talking Czech.
Maybe we should play a bit of word association with him. Because he's not going to remember it soon anyway. Skull will just put himself right up against... Because
He'll
low
just have
humanity
this-
skull does not... Yeah, low humanity skull gives 0 shits.
And he'll
about a
just have
kind
this
person's
ignorant
face.
smile on his face. He's completely oblivious to this overtly aggressive man with a skull on his face because of the effects of because the effects of Obia.
Obia?
Obea? Yeah.
Obia.
Bless you.
Yeah, I hardly know her.
Just looks at her. La Sombra.
Sorry. Don't speak
Shadow.
Italian. It's quite dark.
Magister.
You haven't been to court.
Crown.
Got anything for that one?
Sabat.
They're a band.
Yeah, I look right at Elias. I really can just kill him. Like, he's not worth the vitae.
Oh,
More information.
yeah, Skull,
Camarilla.
that's not needed, necessary.
Camarilla, sir. Does that word mean anything to you?
Oh, that's that one from Spain with the rice.
Quite tasty, isn't it? I pull the ring, just kind of hold it up from Skull's neck. Do you know whose this is?
Someone who lost a ring.
Do you know anyone by the name of Shade?
That's not a name. Who would call themselves that unless they're some stupid, twisted edgelord?
You know, I was thinking the
Nobody
exact same.
would say the name Shade to him, and it's not directly translatable in Japanese.
Yeah. What about an equally weird name of Shudder?
He'll just turn to the other. What language is he speaking?
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
I'm assuming you said that in English, right?
I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. I didn't actually say that.
Look at
You just teed the ball up.
He meant to say shudder.
I mean, it's not that cold. It's nearly summer.
How long have you been without your master?
Could be weeks, but it's no more than a month.
How old are you?
What year is it now?
It is the year of our Lord 2022.
That is, isn't it?
Yes.
He'll just be
I lose
sat there.
track of the year. Sometimes I don't see some of them.
Years turning.
Understandable.
110.
You don't need to erase this guy's memory. We just need to like lock him somewhere and like let the lack of vitae do the rest.
I think that's what the last people did.
Yeah. It was similar to my idea.
They
as well.
weren't entirely wrong.
And neither was I.
Why? What happened? What?
But that was exactly what I suggested doing. This man isn't long for the world. I mean, killing is not always the first answer to go to, even though it is the easiest.
Actually,
Perhaps.
as mentally broken as he is, he might be a good candidate for your shit.
Nah.
Well, I was going to suggest perhaps we bring him home with us and we get him a nice hot meal and a cup of tea and make him feel comfortable.
Actually, I was thinking about. I'm sorry, Olivia. What were you saying?
You continue.
I was going to ask if you were to erase his memory, even though I don't think it's necessary anymore to bring him back to the warehouse anyway. I will save you the details on why, though. I know that you have a sensitive disposition.
Well, I would feel better if you did at least get him a hot meal. Would you be able to do that for him?
I could make him a meal, yes.
Oh,
At the very
That's
least, I've got a
so-
Snickers in my bag.
oh, thank you, Daisy, and that's
Uh,
very
We
kind
call
of
those
you.
marathon bars now. Thank you.
Not snackers.
Someone watching this will get that.
All right.
That's what arguably Snickers are called.
I forgot something real quick. I'll be right back. Go back to the trunk of the car.
Wits and awareness again, please. Slightly easier at this point. I'm hoping you're going to get a crit. That's the only way you're going to get it, to be honest.
Well, I mean, I don't have any hunger, so I can just re-roll all my dice if I choose to use willpower.
That's true.
Which is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to click the reroll button because I'm re-rolling the entire pool.
That's fair.
Still 1.
It's not worth offering you success at cost.
Okay. Then I fail.
And you'll be able to acquire whatever it is that you need from your car.
You remember all those chemicals that I took from
Yep.
from the photo studio? I'm grabbing one of those jugs. I don't intend to just leave a crater. This place is burning down after the explosion.
I want to say it's silver nitrate, but I'm not entirely sure if that's accurate.
That's okay. All you did was you verified that it was highly flammable. That's literally all I care about.
Excellent. What is everyone else doing upon Skull's return?
I'll be helping the man up and out of the building, I guess.
Oh, it's just Solomon.
Is everyone making their exit from the building apart from Skull taking highly flammable materials in? The coterie step out into the warm spring air. The hazy air dances around them as they step out and see a large, all-black car beginning to park up next to their own. Before they are able to catch sight of anyone inside the tinted windows, the car's headlights are ignited, blocking the undead's vision. The sound of the car's doors opening is easily heard, and the silhouettes of 2 people standing in front of the car, allowing the coterie at least a slightly better view forward. One of the shadows hisses out of the air in Japanese. Kombawa, you seem to have found something of ours, and we have come to claim it. This property belongs to a Yakuza organization, and there's a certain inflection on the word Yakuza that answers to the daimyo. We have already threatened the squatters who were smart enough to leave. You should leave now.
I'd like to run away.
Elias.
Run.
I will run behind a neighboring house.
It's out in the middle of nowhere. But you
Bush.
can
Tree. Something to go behind.
She's gonna run. She's gonna run
That's
so far away.
Elias would bow respectfully, and he would say, "Of course, sorry. We were just leaving. We will be on our way post haste. Thank you." And Elias will help the gentleman Solomon is helping to get in the car so we can leave.
wait a moment. That is our property.
Oh.
And then you'll see one of the silhouettes. Sorry, Olivia. One of the silhouettes whispers, and you can just hear the word hunger to the other, who gives a small chuckle and replies with a simple hi. You should pay a toll before you go. You will need to give yourselves to us just a small piece of essence, and then we will let you go.
Is Skull returning at this
Yeah,
point?
Skull would have at least heard something that roused his attention.
So he's coming back out with now a half empty jug of highly flammable chemicals. He sees that, he goes, He leans back in, puts the jug down entirely. He walks out. Why are you harassing my gaggle of chuckle fucks?
Why are you trespassing on our property?
It'd have been cool
Why
to know
are
it
you
was your property.
stealing from us?
What's been stolen?
They
Yes,
won't
you
even bother
told
pointing,
them.
they'll just nod at the husk of the old man. Sorry, Solomon.
Oh, they're probably No, they're probably speaking in Japanese, so I probably have no idea what they're talking about.
And I'm
No
not there to
subtitles in
translate
real
for
life.
you.
First of all, as degraded as he's become, first, I think he's got squatters' rights at this point, so I really don't see the issue here.
Squatters' rights?
Oh, you poor uneducated fucks. Okay. Right, okay. If I hand him to you, what are you going to do with him?
That is not your concern what the daimyo does with his property any more than it is our concern how you wipe your ass. I recommend the Arnold Rimmer method, one up, one down, and one to polish off.
First of all, what kind of back-asswards thing are you doing that makes you think Kindred have to wipe our asses? We don't
Elias,
shit
why are they
anymore,
making
you
weird-
dumb fuck!
Elias, why are they making weird hand movements? What are they talking about? They keep mimicking wiping their butt.
Yes, Solomon. It would see that this property is theirs, and we are trespassing. They said that this individual, this kind soul that we are helping, is their property, and they also said before we're allowed to leave, we must pay them a tribute, a piece of our essence, which I think is rather unfriendly of them.
Yes, I don't like
Yeah,
it.
no
either.
shit, it's unfriendly of them, I say in English. Go back to these two. No, back to you shitheads. Second of all, you haven't given us a goddamn shred of evidence that you aren't trying to bullshit us right now.
You want evidence? Very well.
Yeah, I
So
would.
glad you fucking said that. I am so glad. And they'll take a knife out of their pocket, slice their hand open.
And Skull will put his hands in his pockets.
Okay.
For reasons that can be disclosed later.
Blood will start to drop out of the wound, slowly at first, and then almost like a gushing river. And then it will thicken and he will attempt to grapple Skull with Bloodlash. Fuck me. Strength and brawl to resist that bad boy.
Okay. Hello. It is a damn good thing Strength and Brawl is actually a good pool for me. And, yeah, I am going to surge my strength because I remember getting hit with this. I want none of this bullshit.
The grapple doesn't do any damage. But you will be grappled,
My
which is
point
not a good thing.
stands.
That's fair.
Okay, I get hungrier. Hunger 0 was nice while it lasted.
It never lasts long.
Yeah. Modifier of 2. Spending some willpower to re-roll the 3, the 4, and the 5.
Oh, shit. I guess I've got to spend some willpower just to save some face. And the blood, the whip made of blood, will lash out in an instant. Skull, however, is far faster and is able to move out of the way of it, and you'll hear the car doors open once more as more Gaki pour out of it.
Most excellent. You remember how my hands are in my pockets?
Mm-hmm.
Cool, I'm pushing a button. The building's going up now.
Okay. All the kindred, please do a frenzy check for me.
Yep.
That'll be
Am I close enough
3.
to need to do a frenzy?
I think you're going to be safe because you're cowering behind a tree in a strategic fortification movement.
And yeah, I just set off a pipe bomb that looked like it was built in the 1950s. It wasn't. It's just that's just more reflective of when he learned how to make pipe bombs.
What was the difficulty?
3.
3.
Damn.
Very nice. Is that everyone?
Your kindred don't.
It is not me.
Skull? Frenzy test as well, please.
Do I need to put anything to the modifiers?
No modifiers, but difficulty is 3.
Cool kindred don't look at explosions.
That is a terror frenzy.
It is. And I would like to spend a single willpower to make sure that I at least set off running in a direction that does not involve running straight into the Gaki.
That's absolutely fine. Spend the willpower. And Skull, feeling the heat and seeing the blast directly behind you, triggers the beast inside of you. And you run in the same direction as Daisy to take shelter with her, leaving Elias, Olivia, and Solomon.
I don't think I have the option of taking shelter. I'm frenzied. I'm just still running.
Yeah. No longer perceive any. Yeah, you'd be just running then. Yeah, you'd be right.
Mm-hmm.
Leaving Olivia, Solomon, Elias, and the old man with 5 bloodthirsty Gaki who are now extra pissed off.
My vantage point. Can I use... First of all, I'm assuming there's crows around.
Oh yeah, especially now.
Would I be able to use feral whispers to either command one crow to talk to the flock or command a flock of crows?
Yeah. That's charisma
I
and animal
would...
pen.
manipulation and
Oh, that was
animalism
close.
and a rest check. I would like to have the flock swarm the Gaki.
Oh, very nice. I believe that. Well, do your roll first, please.
Oh wait, I shouldn't have done the hunger yet. Sorry. And that's a crow.
Oh, you'd better believe that that's right, as an entire murder of crows swoops out of the trees, following Daisy's orders, and this overwhelming compulsion within them to protect and then swarm the 5 Gaki, who are momentarily perturbed by the amount of birds over them. Elias, Olivia, Solomon, you have enough time to do something, like get the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah, would I be hindered with the old man if Elias is helping me?
Do you want to bring him with you?
Or, I mean, mainly out of spite, yes.
Elias would want to.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
no,
Elias is
Elias
going to
would
try
do.
to help save him.
Yeah,
I
and-
think Elias and Solomon are trying to save him for very
I'm
different...
sorry, I just noticed Olivia just
Yeah.
do this. Oh, God. Fucking salute.
Well, I mean, Elias is trying to save him because Elias is a good person, quote unquote.
But yeah,
Solomon
you
is trying
will
to
have
save-
be encumbered by that. So Olivia, you are sensibly, the Malkavian sensibly is going to get to the car. That's fine.
Yes.
No problem. Solomon, dexterity and athletics to get to the car, with a +1 modifier from
Alright.
Elias helping you. It's not going to be
I'm-
too difficult because this is an elderly gentleman who weighs about as much as a soggy, thin piece of paper, which is about
Alright, well,
the
just in
consistency
case,
of his skin.
I'm gonna rouse just in case. Well, so I believe that'll be a +3 in total. Dexterity, athletics, 3. I'm glad I did that.
Would you like success or cost? Or would you like to reroll?
I can reroll 3 of those. I'll reroll 3 by pressing the WP reroll button underneath the whoops.
The other day I saw this godlike roll from RJ consisting of 4 hunger dice, every single one of them just a success. No
Nice.
issues. The man is a god.
So to answer your question, I would like success or cost, please.
Very well. Elias and Solomon attempt to bundle the collection of loose skin and bones that makes up the old man into the people carrier. Unfortunately, with the beast still beckoning at them because of the fire and the explosion and the amount of birds and the trouble that 5 Gaki can cause them, they lose him in the scuffle. He falls behind and do not have enough time to rescue him. He was minus 60, probably 60 years from retirement.
He's been retired for 60 years. He was 2 days from his perfect vacation.
Little farm up north, you can't visit. And you get in the people carrier, ignite the engine, and scream off into the night, leaving the pissed off Gaki behind you to take out their rage and frustrations on the remains of the old man. You'll probably be able to pick up Daisy, who is very used to hitchhiking.
Oh, good.
You'll probably
I was
catch
hoping
up
they're doing
with-
the whole pull forward, slow down, open the car. But
Is it by chance a van?
Yes, it's a people carrier.
Or in the back.
from the
Elias would
side
be in the
door.
back, and he'd open the side door and reach out for Daisy.
And you'll catch up with Skull, who is running with the beast screaming on his heels, and be able to pull him into the van as well, because no one left behind. Is there anything you would like to talk about in the people carrier as it makes its journey back to your haven?
Well,
Do you-
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, do you interact with the Gaki often? This was quite unusual.
First for me.
We have had some interactions with them, yeah. But Skull, I feel like we were close to resolving that situation peacefully and non-violently. Did you need to blow up the house with us right in front of it, in front of the Gaki?
Did I need to? I asked for proof that they were working for who they said they were working for, and they go on the attack. And you're gonna blame me for that?
No, Skull. I'm not blaming you for defending yourself. I'm just asking if it was appropriate to escalate to such a high degree so quickly.
You could have let them go inside the house and then blow it up.
I thought about that, but the only way I could figure doing that was us leaving the guy inside the building and then them all, Ghoul and everyone, getting take up in the blaze, which I wasn't completely against, but I feel like if I did that, I wouldn't hear the end of it from him, pointing at Elias.
Very well, it's not ideal, but we have to deal with the hand that's been dealt.
And I've
And
lost
we-
my fucking car.
True. Perhaps that's a consolation for them, but on the bright side, a consolation for us and the silver lining is we are all alive. Well, we're all unalive and well.
Yes. Were you really going to take that man?
I mean, I wanted to.
Yes, certainly. It would have been. Well, we all know his time was short. It would have been nice to help ensure his remaining time was pleasant,
That poor old man.
at least comfortable. Yes.
You see, as long as Elias rewrote his memory first, so that he couldn't remember possibly anything, I'd have been cool with that. Because hey, no breach. We'd have just ended up with another dead body, and we can take care of that.
Well, I feel like that's a solution in hindsight. None of us knew the Gaki were going to show up.
No. No, it's very weird that your friend was sent to stay at a place that the Gaki had, well, believe they have domain over.
They believe they had domain over the fucking person.
Yes. Yes.
So, the Gaki are rolling into our territory, taking our buildings, and either trying to steal our ghouls, or they are making ghouls and leaving them in our territory.
I'm confused. Why do you think this is our territory? On our property? We just came here because someone told us that they were here.
Sorry, that could just be the Camarilla in me talking.
Well, either way, I'll have to find some other food for Ein.
Yes, apparently that one's too special.
It'd been great to feed him a fucking gaki.
That too. He's quite hungry. I did promise him something tonight. Can you imagine how excited he would have been when I told him it might have been a goat and I showed up as an old man?
I still have a Snickers.
Get about right.
Marathon.
No, in this universe, they're snackers. Because they're snack foods.
Marathon used to be what they would call Snickers, at least in the UK, and then they just randomly changed the name to Snickers for some reason. Like Jif and Sif.
I also have a Lion Bar, but that's mine.
Well, you better take pride in that. Pride of lions, Solomon.
Oh. It's funny because you explained it.
So, you'll be able to make your way back to the Coterie Haven. Daisy is most... Oh, bullfruits, yes, good one, Pixie. Sorry. Daisy will most likely find other arrangements to sleep. Skull, I'm not sure if you want to stay in the Coterie Haven tonight or your own haven. And Olivia...
I absolutely do not.
It's fair. And Olivia, you'll probably make it back to your own haven.
Yeah.
Like, right now, like, really, right now, right this second, like, the only person in this group that he isn't in some way frustrated with is Olivia. So, like, if her place was further than mine and Sun was too close, he'd have let her stay with him if necessary. But obviously, that's Olivia's choice.
Is Skull staying at the Coterie Haven?
Nope, he's staying at his place.
Oh,
No, I will head back to my place. I'm got some business to take care of.
We just get a thumbs up and he'll go back to his place.
Excellent. So, we fast forward a bit in time to the next night. And at this point, please, everyone except Olivia, Elias, and Solomon, slake one hunger.
Including me at one hunger?
If you're already at one, you stay at one.
Okay.
Please do a rouse check to awaken for the night, everyone.
Oh boy.
I had faith in you, Olivia, don't worry. Skull, you're getting hungry tonight. Solomon?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was told not to make a roll. I'm...
No, you're rousing now.
Okay.
Wonderful. You may take your resolve or your composure, whichever is higher, and add it to your willpower tracker. And does anybody need to heal?
Yes. Oh,
Yes, please.
Daisy.
actually, I weren't.
Sure? Oh, you don't want to risk it, do you? Fair. Daisy, superficial or aggravated?
Superficial.
Please do a rouse check. And you may heal 2 points of superficial. Solomon, Elias, you were fine.
Yeah.
Olivia, you didn't want to. Skull, did you need to?
Yes, I still have an ag.
Please do 3 rouse checks for me.
3, 4. Okay.
You may heal 1
Hunger 4.
aggravated. We can live with that, because you've already roused for the night.
I mean,
Olivia has met with the Malkavian Primogen Varaxin in a pre-arranged meeting place known only to the Malkavians of Chiba. Sat across a table from each other in a rather plain room, sparsely decorated and furnished, are the two Malkavians. Varaxin, feeling far more comfortable around his own clan, has actually rolled up his sleeves, revealing the myriad of scars that spiral up and down his arms. A thick scar runs down the inside of each of his forearms down to his wrists, easily noticeable unless hidden through his shirt. Thanks to their shared blood, though, Varaxin is far more at ease with Olivia. He sits forward, placing his elbows on the table, and never breaking eye contact with Olivia. Olivia, thank you for helping me with my request. Things are falling into place, and as a side effect, I feel somewhat relieved at what has been done so far.
I'm so glad. I am so glad.
In order for events to fall into place as they should, and avoid what may come to pass, I need but 2 more tasks. The Camarilla and all of our kind on this island need you. Are you able, Olivia?
Of course. Anything for my Primogen.
Thank you. Nakamoto Hiroshi has been taken. You must inform the coterie of this. He is held at Flimsy Land, Tokyo. Why they call it Tokyo, I know not. It is within Chiba. Anyway, there they shall find a loose... Anywhere there, they shall find they lose a fist of bone, but find a missing piece they will need. It will slip into place in front of you. Hopefully, they will ask the right questions and see what is unfolding before them. They will want to rush there quickly, but time is, as always, important. Meet up with the 2 outsiders first. You may even have a good time with them, but they should provide just the right amount of sand as to ensure you all arrive at the correct place at the correct time. And take my car. It will allow you a bit more freedom.
I appreciate it.
Before you leave, Olivia, is there anything you wish to ask of me?
Did you want us to destroy the ring?
The ring matters not, or it could matter greatly. It should not be destroyed until its purpose has been found. Could be...
It is currently with the Hikato.
that ring. Whatever they do with it is what they will do with it. That is my own personal hell. Is there anything more you wish to ask of me?
No, you've provided great wisdom, as per usual. And time is of the essence.
Very well. Go safely into the night and know that despite the seemingly strange nature of my requests, that I am and will forever be eternally grateful to you and your loyalty. And he has a sincere smile on his face, and even small droplets of blood forming in the underside of his eyes as he watches Olivia leave into the darkness, leaving the scarred man alone. Olivia has met up with Solomon and Elias, the 2 outsiders, just on the outside of their haven, with invitation to visit a certain part of Onikita where she can feed, as can Elias and Solomon as well if they so choose. She takes them to an awaiting large black and chrome lined car, opening the car's driver's side door, and waits for Solomon and Elias to get in before starting the car and driving towards Onakita's eastern side. As the car drives into the night through the twisting, winding roads with the unfamiliar white streetlights beaming down, is there anything the three of you would like to talk about on your journey?
Good evening.
Yes. I think it is a good evening.
Yes, good evening, everyone. It's good to see you.
You two are quite fascinating. I feel pleasured to be given the opportunity to spend more time learning more about you two.
Yes, I do like a small excursion every once in a blue moon.
Yes, I'm quite happy to aid you in your pursuit of understanding.
Yes, it does seem like that is your specialty.
I do enjoy and pride myself in guiding others.
See that for
Yes.
you.
I know that the others give you a hard time about your journey that you care so much about. And just for expedience sake, I dote on you about it sometimes too. But I do enjoy learning and would like to know more about it, wish.
Oh, of course, Solomon. Did you want me to speak about it now or at a later time? I know sometimes when I bring up my discussions of entertainment, it's not the appropriate place.
Well, no more appropriate time and place than with a smaller group setting out for a evening snack.
Yeah. Well,
Well, then, unless someone stops him, Elias will start talking about Galconda and the pursuit of self-betterment and enlightenment. Well, you see, for kindred, there's a balance to be reached between the beast and your humanity, and true mastery of the path allows you to shackle and suppress the beast, and to achieve a heightened and higher level of humanity.
and this is something you wish to do to achieve higher humanity.
Oh, yes, of course. Surely you've noticed how I don't feed as often as everyone else in the coterie. It's because I've managed to suppress my hunger, and while I still do require blood to sustain myself, I need it far less often.
Fascinating. I do believe that suppressing bad urges is always good for the soul.
Yes, quite. What was that, Solomon?
Oh, no, I was just agreeing that it sounds like a difficult path to go down.
Yes, it can be difficult, but as with many things, the journey is well worth it. With things such as this, or even martial arts, that the suppression of the beast, the suppression of the bodily ailments, or suppression of the mind or mental ailments, it allows you to overcome your limitations and excel when others would not. A saying I am rather fond of is the journey before the destination.
Fascinating.
I feel like Olivia and I are very much like, we're letting Elias talk and ramble, and we're just like, yes, right, yes. No, like, there's genuine fascination in it. Like, but
Studying him.
Yeah.
Just pull the car over here and we can both feed off him. Just saying.
Elias would continue unless someone stops him. I'm not gonna keep.
Right.
And the history of this belief. Where did you when did your journey begin?
Where did it all
Oh, I'm so used to people either just shutting me up or allowing me to monologue. Yes.
The
well,
car arrives in Oniki.
Well, you see, Olivia, when I was much younger or newer to the unlife, as I'm sure many people have experienced, I lost control. I succumbed to the beast, and I committed a grave sin. I murdered. I killed someone and fed until they were no more. Once my hunger subsided and I realized the horrors of my deeds, I vowed to never allow myself to succumb to the beast again and to never be in that state. I vowed to make amends for my sins, and since then I've been following the path, doing everything I could seek. As opposed to other plans, it doesn't make as much sense, but I was aware of the path when I was younger, but it wasn't really something I took as seriously. It wasn't until my grave sin that I decided I too, like my sire, needed to follow the.
So it seems you were tested in your faith, and you probably came away with the right answer. You doubled down, as anyone in your situation would do. I feel like your circumstances are a lot more, inspirational than I thought before.
Yes, our extended life definitely makes for unique opportunities. We have an extra lease on life, so to say, or really unlife, to make
Yeah.
amends for things we would have otherwise not had the ability to do.
Given greater strength.
Yes, exactly. When
Interesting.
I was a neonate, I definitely was not as resolute or, I don't want to say pious, but I was a lot more selfish when I was newly embraced. And I know my sire had tried to impart in me the importance of the path and shackling the beast, but it wasn't an issue. It wasn't a problem that affected me. I was ignorantly immune to the beast and those urges until I lost myself.
I believe I'm sorry, Olivia, go ahead.
Do you?
I believe all kindred are probably equally, if not annoyingly, selfish when they're first embraced, and either it's better or it gets worse depending on the individual. I know it seems to resonate with you, Olivia. I know that when you joined our group, did not get to share in pleasantries, as I was absent. But what you doing in this area? What brings you here? Do you do things? Let's find out.
I am part of the Camarilla here. I have been working under my Primogen for years, and we have quite a strong bond. I am very much the person he sends to fix issues, and he has sent me to you to help me fix issues. I've been here for many years, but I've been many other places as well. I did not have the selfishness of youth, let's say, that many, well, we've got the anarchs these days. But the Camarilla has been my home for many, many years. Many, many long years.
Well, it is honorable to hear that we were chosen for your aid in problem solving. I do enjoy solving problems myself.
Varaxon sees something in this group. And he saw the efficiency before I did. He's very
Well,
gifted that way.
Yes, all Malkavians seem to have a gift or two in seeing things that others tend not to.
Yes, we do.
The car makes the rest of its journey in an ominous silence. Apart from Elias, who seems completely ignorant of the fact and is just happy that someone listened to him for once about enlightenment. The car comes to a halt outside a fairly quiet, small shop. The kanji on the shop's overhanging blind reads acupuncture, and every other shop down the street is for some kind of alternative medicine. Neon lights and vending machines illuminate the street and the curves down the steady slope. How would you like to begin?
Like this place, Elias. This is sort of my domain, in a sense. My place of interest.
Oh yes, it's very nice, very lovely.
Follow me, and she'll guide them into, I guess, the acupuncture place.
I will just note that he won't have said anything, but Solomon just has looking around at all these alternative medicine shops. He looks uncomfortable. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Olivia will guide you into the shop, and upon seeing Olivia, the man behind the counter will be, a look of not complete joy, but very happy to see her. And he'll say the usual line of, "Welcome to Takeshi's Acupuncture, where we've got a tip for you if you get the point."
It is good to see you. How's your health?
As well as always, thank you, Olivia.
Of course.
And how are you? It's such a pleasure to see you.
I'm doing very well. I've been blessed with such great positivity and such a great environment.
Marvelous. Marvelous. Have you come for treatment or to share treatment with others? By the
We've
way,
all come here.
Oh, by the way, the that the that you gave me the other night, wonderful, wonderful, worked very well.
Oh, I'm glad.
So, do you care to come in the back for your treatment?
After you. Guests first, of course.
Yes, quite.
And the man behind the counter will come out of the counter and hold this curtain back that has a kanji symbol on it for probably acupuncture. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. And just gesture for you to go into the treatment room.
Olivia, we're not actually getting acupuncture, right?
No.
Oh, thank heaven.
Though it is very good for the soul and the body.
Well,
But
I mean,
One of your companions is English, Olivia. Oh. Hello! How do you do?
quite all right.
your English is very good. It's getting better.
Thank you. I've been practicing. How about that game, huh? Terrible weather
Did you
lately.
see that ludicrous display last night?
Fucking hell. Well, a standing ovation. No offense, Solomon. Amazing reference. Solomon, if you want to join in, you can just say, I'm disabled.
I was just thinking that. Oh man. I was just thinking that. I didn't want to bring it up though. Great minds.
And you will
Elias.
go
Go ahead.
No.
Well, Elias will say to him in English, what is your name?
You can call me John, friend. Am I doing well, Olivia?
Mm-hmm.
And then and then Elias will say in Japanese, "Oh, John, your English is vague."
Oh, thank God for that. Why didn't you just say you spoke Japanese in the first place?
Olivia, is friend a typical Japanese last name?
No.
It's weird. This man is trying to learn English, and he has a very English name.
Don't call me John. My actual name is Hero. It's just something I say for the tourists, Makes them feel at ease when you're going to stab them with needles.
I understand. Yes, sorry, I just wanted to give you more opportunity to practice your English.
Thanks,
shall we?
friend. He threw the game off in the last half. He could have had him. I can't remember the rest of the fucking line. And you'll walk into the treatment room and you'll find several beds out on display, each with curtains to separate them, and many plants and various paintings that are clearly meant to induce relaxation in anyone new to the area. And you'll see several people standing by each table in a white coat and a pleasing smile on their face. Should I do each pick a booth?
I mean, just because every place I've been to here in this country, I understand that I get the procedure wrong, so I don't want to accidentally do anything rude or unsightly. What exactly is going to happen? This is directed at Olivia. Yeah.
You're here to feed, are you not?
Yes. Oh, okay.
Don't worry, these people are mine. You can do so freely.
Fascinating. Such an interesting way of doing it.
I
Discreet.
actually came for the acupuncture.
Of course.
You could probably ask.
Very well. Yes, I will.
You do realize that there's been no proven medical reason that acupuncture works, right?
Well, that's, I suppose I will experiment. We have that hypothesis, don't we? we'll see how it affects me. And
And negative thinking never did anyone any good, now did it?
I mean,
indeed,
placebos are a thing, so.
and besides Solomon, like I said earlier in the car ride, I don't need to feed often. I'm not very hungry.
Well, then enjoy your acupuncture.
You'll each find a booth, and as you enter in, the curtain is closed behind you. Who would like to go first?
I'll go, Shiv.
Elias, would you like to, gesture to lie upon the bed?
Yes. Elias will strip down and lie upon the bed.
Why are you taking your clothes off? No one asked you to do that.
How else
isn't-
can you do
This isn't
the...
that kind of a place, sir. Could you please put your underwear back on at least?
Elias will put his underwear back on. I'm sorry, in the States, we always just strip down and get under the cover for massages and under the towel for massages and such.
This
I
isn't
thought
a
it was the same.
massage.
I'm sorry, this is my first time getting acupuncture. I thought it would be similar to those hot stone
Oh,
massages.
you're nervous. That explains what they say about Western men not being true.
Yes, so let's proceed with the acupuncture.
And she will begin to start placing various... I have to be very careful how to phrase this. So she will place the acupuncture utensils in the appropriate
Chakra
ways and
points.
method. Yeah. It all feels... You feel nothing, to be quite honest with you. Doesn't do much for you. Is there anything you would like to do or say to this charming young person? 2 days on the job.
Yes, I've never gotten acupuncture before, but I always heard that it was supposed to help individuals feel rejuvenated
Yeah.
or something of the sort.
You're probably feeling a small prick, but I suppose that's nothing new for you.
That's not Skaven you're talking to.
It's very cold outdoors and he was nervous.
Yes,
so
well,
sorry.
I'm sure in this profession you would know best, certainly.
It's not an easy job, and it takes many years of training.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
And the needles, what sort of
Those
effect are
children
they?
laughing outside. I don't know what I said
Oh.
that must have triggered them.
Sorry, I said that bad word. The utensils. When do the utensils start having their effect?
Start to feel something almost immediately, and then I don't know, some fucking bullshit about fucking acupuncture that you feel eventually. I don't fucking know.
Elias would give,
Just take
even though he
drugs
doesn't
like
need
a
to,
normal person and feel better that way. Fucking hell.
even though he doesn't need to, Elias would give out, like, or at least imitate a sigh. He'd be like, perhaps I am just not lively enough for this to work.
You are very cold. Meanwhile-
Yes.
Let's see, Olivia, you guide us through this one.
She'll take the hand of someone who's works there and brings them into a booth. And she'll close the curtain herself. How are you doing, my dear?
I'm very well. And how are you? It's been quite some time.
Yes, I've been very busy, but not too busy. I have maintained my lifestyle to keep the stresses out and keep the positivity in. Have you been doing the same?
Trying my best, and I can see it's starting to have some sort of effect on you, but I don't know why you're just still so cold. And have you managed to find your pulse yet?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Oh, that's good.
It is a condition.
That
but
is good.
I am managing it very well. I've maintained this lifestyle for so many years because I can maintain it so well.
See, your aura is brighter than it has ever been.
You. Now I can see you're a little stressed.
If you loved me, Skull, you'd swallow that. Well, it's been one of those weeks. Many
I guess I love you then.
people need acupuncture so badly, and
Yes.
something
it's
about
people.
tiger spirits, I don't know.
People build up that tension, and it needs to be alleviated.
Exactly, and people don't even apply pressure points at home. It's basic health maintenance.
Yes. But it is good that you were keeping up with it for your own body and mind.
Oh, I couldn't doll out this bullshit professionally if I didn't practice the bullshit on myself.
Here, let me alleviate some of that stress for you.
Not sure that's how it's supposed to work normally, but I'm sure no one
My
will
treat.
mind.
Of course. Take a seat.
Sure, she will happily take an appropriate seat.
Now, close your eyes.
They will be closed.
Take a deep breath in. And as she's taking a breath in, Olivia will bite into her neck.
Do your feeding roll. That breath got me. Do your feeding roll for me, please. Oh, I should have rouse checked before I did that roll. Jesus. I've had dates like this. Perfect. Your 4 fangs will extend, and if I cross a line here, just tell me, and I'll switch over. Okay. You extend all 4 of your fangs, and you run your hands and fingertips over the person's body, luring them into a false sense of security and relaxation. You pick up one of the acupuncture utensils in an effort to trick them into thinking that that is what you're about to puncture their skin with, and you lean in close and pierce their flesh with your 4 fangs, tearing into the skin and vein, and start to extract as much vitae as you so wish. How much vitae would you like?
I'm gonna take 2. Take me down to 1.
Take the 2. You take enough hunger to alleviate your need and satisfy the beast inside for now. As you extract your fangs, your victim lets out a pleasurable sigh and just says, "I don't know how you do that. It's wonderful."
The trick is finding the right spot, and she'll close the wound, and now you can open your eyes again. And you can let out that breath.
How you do that.
I'll teach you one day. Perhaps.
I look forward to being as skilled in the craft as you.
Well, I will let you get back to work. You now are glowing with positive energy.
I can feel it. I shall search for a packet of cigarettes and go out the back. Yeah, because they don't fucking do that. Solomon!
Well, I know you're typical. I assume there's another person here with me.
Yeah.
Because that's who I'm talking to.
Thanks for
I'm
clarifying that.
not. You're very welcome. You just said my name and that was it. So, I know you're traditionally used to doing this, the way you learned, but I'm going to do this the way I learned, if that's all right. And I'm going to pull because I know Solomon would probably keep one on him. I'm going to pull a tourniquet out of my pocket. Please give me your hand.
This is all in Japanese. She's saying... Apparently she's a she now. This is most unusual, and she'll, you're through body language and gesturing, she'll just put the hand out.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull her arm forward and tie it's one of those, like, very simple, like, rubbery tourniquets. You just tie in a knot around a person's arm.
Just on the one arm.
I'm gonna put it around the bicep, yeah.
Okay, she's giving us a really strange look. I don't think he understands what kind of place this is.
No, I do not. And I just take 2 fingers and I start tapping them along her forearm to get the veins to come to the surface. Yeah, there's one. All right. If you would not like to witness this, please close your eyes.
She doesn't understand. She's just staring. She's like, "What's this
And
crazy foreign bastard doing?"
Well, all right. If you don't mind watching, then I will bite into probably just her forearm area.
Are you sure you want to do that?
Well,
Would like to remind you that the title of this game is Vampire the Masquerade.
Right.
Fuck it, let's just show everyone that we're fucking vampires and stand up in the middle of the pub and say, "Hey, y'all, any of you know about fucking vampires?"
I don't believe
somewhere in the district, Skull feels very disappointed and he has no idea why.
Vampire the fuck it.
No, I'm just trying to. The language barrier is throwing off my problem solving skills. I'm gonna pick up one of the needles that is laying.
Utensils, please, for
utensils. Right. And I'm just gonna do the hear no evil, speak no evil, like hand over the eyes. And try and mime to her, cover your eyes. I'm going to use.
Boss, this fucking gaijin thinks he's gonna sleep with me. You will all, Olivia and Elias, you will hear this and understand this. Throwing you a fucking lifeline here, Solomon.
Thank you.
Olivia will come out. Is everything okay?
Yes, I'm trying to instruct
Yes, it is.
her. Yeah, you will see a tourniquet tied around her arm.
Here, let me. And she'll walk over to the lady and say, "It's okay. He's new, but I'm going to guide him through the process."
Only because you say so.
You've worked with me before. You know that I am very good at my job. And you seem very, very stressed.
Well, I just had this complete stranger, who is Gaijin, wrap something around my arm and start tapping it.
He's
Never
trying
had-
a technique that he's brought over from across the pond.
Fucking Gaijin.
I think I understood
you
the
like?
word palm.
What would you like me to do?
Close your eyes, dear.
Very well, and she'll close them.
Take a deep breath in. And breathe out. And then she's going to gesture to Solomon to do what he was going to do.
Yeah, and that's when I'll...
What's your usual feeding technique, Solomon? Dice roll wise.
Dagger, which makes this even weirder. Let me see what my... intelligence and streetwise is what I usually roll. Could I do intelligence and medicine?
No. No, I don't think you can apply intelligence to this one at all.
Okay.
Do a weird one for
Dexterity.
me. Dex and
Okay.
stealth. What were you going to suggest with Dex?
No, I was gonna throw out different traits since you said no to intelligence. Can I do dexterity in medicine?
Convince me.
Well, I mean, I really was tying the tourniquet to make the
Yeah,
the
but that
vines,
tourniquet's
the
gone.
veins easier. Oh, okay. All right, I can do just dexterity and stealth. I just don't have any thoughts in stealth.
Fuck around
Do I
and
get
find out.
Do I get a +1 from Olivia helping me?
Yes! There you go. Would you like success at cost for feeding on this goat?
No, because I don't want to accidentally kill them. Because I know you have other options, but I don't want to accidentally kill them. I'm already making a scene of it anyway. I don't want to make the scene worse.
Would you like Dex at cost? Would you like success at cost that won't kill them then? Oh, you've
Sure.
been given a reroll from Pixie.
Oh, Pixie, you're the greatest.
That's just in a donut.
Thanks
Yeah.
for saving Solomon's hide.
I also
Would you
appreciate
like
that
success
she
at
called me-
cost that isn't going to kill them then?
Sure. I just appreciate that Pixie called me Solo Man in chat.
Extend all four of your fangs, sink them deep into the woman's flesh, eyeing up the vein that you brought to the surface earlier, tapping into it, and satiating the beast inside of you. You try to stop yourself as hard as you might, arguing inside with the beast, until it finally switches. You're able to stop yourself from draining this poor woman 2 days away from retirement. As you do so, the beast screams, catching you off guard. You are obsessed with possessing something in this shop, desiring to add it to your proverbial hoard. This can be anything from an object to a piece of property to an actual person. Any action not taken towards this purpose incurs a 2 dice penalty, and this compulsion persists until ownership is established, or the object of desire no longer becomes obtainable. You are suffering from the Zemitsi clan compulsion, covetousness.
This is kind of ironic considering I called this stuff, medically inaccurate, and now I'm surrounded by stuff I want to take.
Could be the person.
True. And how much hunger do I slake?
You may, would you like 2, 3, or
Two's
more?
fine.
You may
Two's
set
perfect.
2 hunger.
Takes me down to 1.
While while the person doing my acupuncture is either otherwise distracted, not touching me or looking away, I would use Blush of Life.
Rouse check for me, please. Look, you can see it's already starting to take its effect. My complete bullshit is actually making you feel warmer and more radiant.
Oh yes, it
To
seems
think
the
those people
utensils.
who studied for 20 years to get actual medical qualifications laughed at me and mocked me after I spent 6 months on an online course.
Yes, yes. It
Why
did
I don't
take
get
some
medicine in this
time.
country.
It did take some time for me to feel the effects, but I think the acupuncture is helping my blow. Clearly, color has returned to my skin, and I feel warmer.
Certainly has.
I'll finish up my.
Solomon and Olivia, what's going on with you two?
Thank you so much for your assistance. I'm not used to feeding on live subjects.
Really. How do you usually feed?
Well, back in London, I had ample access to bags and bags of vitae from a lab.
Ah. Interesting.
Yes, it's I know most people don't have a taste for it. It can have aged gaminess to it that many are off put by. But I do not mind.
No, I've definitely partaken in bagged blood, but the old-fashioned way is good enough for me. And then she'll cloud the memory of the lady, just so she remembers nothing of what just happened.
Cloud memory arouse check?
Don't believe
I don't think it is, actually,
I
is
think
it?
that's
It's level
Forgetful
1.
Mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to point out how funny it is that it's like, oh yeah, you don't want to break the masquerade with whatever Solomon doing, and then do it the right way, and then immediately cloud her memory afterwards.
Don't forget the rules of the Camarilla. Rules for me, not for thee.
I know. I'm just situationally, it's funny.
Yeah. And that's a free roll, completely unprepared mortal. She's just been fed on, she's in a very high, suggestible state. And she'll just stand there, gloss over it. Do you two want treatment? Olivia!
There. How are you doing? How is your health?
I think I'm okay. I must have spaced out for a moment there. I didn't notice you come in. I'm sorry.
Oh, it is all right. We let ourselves in. Please, I believe it is your lunch break. You should, well, dinner break, I should say. You should take it.
Of course, and she'll give you a fairly deep bow and walk out the back. Looking for a bag of heroin or something. I don't fucking know. And Elias, your treatment has finished. You'll be allowed to stand up and leave the booth. Catching up with Solomon and Olivia.
Yes, Elias will get fully dressed and catch up with Solomon and Olivia.
Thank you.
As you wander out, she'll just be like, Skebeyaro. Which translated means pervert bastard.
Elias, do I have to fix anything? You didn't make a mess of my establishment, did you?
Oh, no, not at all. I just, I got some acupuncture, and as you can see, I'm absolutely radiant. It certainly improved my circulation.
Yes, your
That is
pressure
bad.
points. Look, The tension has left your body. It is good to see.
That is fascinating, though. You are quite flush, aren't you? Maybe there is something to the... Olivia, those utensils that they use for their procedures, are they
Yes?
specially made, or...
You'd have to ask John.
I think I will on our way out. I might have to ask him if it works on a kindred so well. I would love to study one, just to see if it's different that a microscopic level, maybe.
Perhaps. Never seen a kindred so radiant after a procedure like that. It must be how close you are to humanity, Elias.
Yes. Perhaps the closer one is to their humanity, the better procedures such as this work.
Perhaps.
Considering you look so radiant, and Daisy had those very peculiar pills that worked on kindred in interesting ways. This country has fascinating ways with medicine.
Yes, I do think so.
Interesting. Most peculiar.
Well, let's leave, and you can talk to John on the way out.
Right, thank you so much. Yeah.
You'll proceed out of the treatment area, moving the, I'm sure, completely sterilized in every way plants. Walk back into the reception area where you will see the owner of the property, or the manager of the property.
John, friend, was it? Is that what you said? John, was it?
Nani?
Hiro.
Oh, sorry. Hiro.
Hi.
This may be a weird question, but the utensils that you use for acupuncture, is there any chance I may acquire one?
Yes, it gets quite hot in the summer here.
We'll translate.
Wants to purchase his own set, he's certainly welcome to.
You can purchase a set if you'd like.
I would love to. How much do they cost? I have a decent amount of cash on me. I try to, at least. Hopefully it would be enough.
How much?
For you or for him, Olivia? For you or for him, Olivia? The cost.
Oh, I see. He's going to give you a discount, probably, if it's for you. But if it's for me, he's probably not.
For him.
Well, I can usually purchase a set in bulk for 3,000 yen. I'd sell them to you for 4,000 yen. To him, it's 7,000 yen.
Money do you carry with you on your day-to-day?
I have 3 dots in resources, Shiv.
7,000 yen is about 70 American dollars.
Oh, so yeah.
She'll tell you than 70 yen. I meant not 70 yen, 7,000 yen.
Oh, absolutely worth it. And I would pull out the cash.
Transaction will complete without issue.
Yeah, and if he hands them over, I would put the majority of them away, but like while we're walking and talking for the rest of the night, I would just be like moving it around in my hands and inspecting it and looking at it.
Is anything you would like to talk about or do before you head back to the Coterie Haven? Very well. Skull, you wish to do your feeding roll? Do a hunt before you meet up with the rest of the Coterie in the Haven, so please roll away.
Absolutely yes. All right. That is my... Let's see. Yeah. You don't have a... Up there it is. Strength and intimidation. Because intimidation is social, I get my looks merit. And that is god awful. Let me spend some willpower.
All those dice. Sometimes roll 20 is just fucking with you.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw the thing that Miss Hart's photoshopped in general chat.
Would you like success at cost?
Absolutely yes.
You will drain this victim of every drop of blood in their system. You will take 2 humanity stains, but you will be able to slake 5 hunger.
Okay.
And then you make your way to the Haven.
I need to do something about this body. I mean, if it's an uneventful trip back to the Coterie Haven, I'll just take them there, because there's 2 people in the Coterie who might be interested in this. But other than
Won't be an issue.
But then that's just what I'm going to do.
And Skull makes his way back to the Coterie Haven, where he finds Daisy, but not Elias, Skull, and Olivia, as they are still out. Daisy has taken some time to sit on a cushion, while the house ghoul has served a cup of green tea in front of her. Skull bursts into the coterie, Bernie in hand.
Yep, just do to her shoulder. Just walk in, close the door, just drop the body just a little bit next to the door. Like, in a way to make sure that the walkway itself isn't blocked, but definitely in view that you open the door and, oh, there's a body there.
Not cool, dude. What'd you bring that here for?
Because between Marcelina and Solomon, we have plenty of ways of getting rid of it.
Harsh on my vibe, man.
Where are they anyway?
I don't know. They were gone when I got here. Have I gotten any mail?
If you did, it would be, like, on that little table just inside your room.
Do I actually have a room here? Storyteller?
Yeah.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, we all.
I always slept on the couch. I didn't even know I had a room.
Yeah, we all have one. Like, even Skull, who has his own haven.
Which
Yeah.
one's my room?
Follow me.
Just been crashing on the couch. But I'll follow him.
Yep. We'll just go up the stairs, just a little bit down the hall. Open the door.
I immediately look around for the table and see if there's anything on it.
This is Marcelina's room?
No, it's Daisy's.
It's Daisy's. There is a pill awaiting you, brought in by the loyal household ghoul.
A pill?
Mhm.
One
You know the
single
pill.
pill?
One single pill.
Okay.
One game, one pill. That's the rule.
So I can't give them to everyone like I did last time?
No.
Aw, just one. Oh well, and I'll pop it.
You know what to do.
Yeah, I'm just gonna figure out where the button is.
You pop the pill, instantly feeling the effects as your mind begins to blur and a small bit of blood drool appears in the corner of your mouth.
Huh. What are we doing?
Are you okay?
Yeah, man, I'm totally fine.
Are you sure?
Totally, yeah. Why wouldn't I be?
Because there was like a little bit of something, and you weren't just feeding. You see, generally, we call that a problem.
What, you never drool? Happens. It's embarrassing, man. Don't call me out like that.
I mean, yeah, it's embarrassing, but you and I are literally the only ones in the room, so...
What about Bernie?
Also... What about him?
He's there.
No, we're up
And
in my room now. Bernie's not there.
I thought you dragged the corpse with you. I'm sorry.
No.
Maybe I took
And
the
even
fucking
if-
pill.
He laid it down by the door.
And by the way, Skull will pull just like a little baggie of marijuana. I believe I promised you good stuff, and in this country.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Just grab the bag and immediately smell it.
Smells like good
Considering it-
shit. Yeah.
Pretty good. Best I've smelled around here in a while. I'll take it. Thanks.
Well, yeah, because, like, America fucking stomped out their marijuana culture half a fucking century ago.
It smells like green tea and skunks.
Don't ever let it be said I don't keep my word.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. She'll roll it up, lick the bag, put it in her backpack. You guys don't do that? Is that an American thing?
You lick the bag, especially now there's a fucking pandemic. What the hell is wrong with you?
Well, like Daisy cares about that. They also
You
leave
go to
like
a drug
blood-
dealer, right? You go to a drug dealer and you lick the bag the
With
drug
the little
dealer
sandwich
touched.
bag?
That's fucking disgusting.
Yes!
Why don't you just lick the toilet seat while you're
Little
at it?
Sandwich baggies, just like the really cheap sandwich baggies. They
Oh yeah,
roll 'em up
famous
and
for
they-
not getting fucking germs on them, aren't they? That's why they wear them in hospitals instead of fucking personal protection. Yeah, baggies fucking everywhere.
What they
Went into
do
this
about these
surgery
parts?
once for open brain surgery. Baggies fucking everywhere.
I am not the marijuana packaging association. I do.
Packaging Association.
Wait, you mean you're not part of the MPA?
That it is disappointing that you are not part of the subdivision of the DIY BJ department.
Yeah. It's a division of that, the MPA.
Just a Tory cuts the NHS. Well, they're lucky they even got that. Sorry. Solomon, Elias, Olivia, save me and enter into the scene, please.
I'm assuming that body is still there to greet us at the front door.
Yep, Bernie is still there. And
Oh,
Olivia has news to deliver to the coterie.
Oh, excellent. I've been wanting one of these. I kind of just shuffle the body farther away from the door.
From the room, I say, "Oh, I think everyone else is here," and I run downstairs.
When I see the body,
walk downstairs.
yeah, when I see the body, I just say, "Oh, this, why is so horrible? Why would anyone, first of all, killing is terrible, and then just leaving a body out like this?"
Why'd
You're
you
right.
bring the body?
Solomon, do you want the body?
Well, I mean, yes, but Daisy, we didn't bring it. It was here when we got here.
Oh,
It's not
again,
a present.
you want the body, Solomon?
I said yes, yes.
Great. Yeah, Elias, that's why I brought the body.
Efficiency. Lovely.
My apologies, Elias. I will take it down to, or up to my pseudo workshops to keep it away from your members and yourself. I know that you do not like to witness this type of thing. And I know that I moved a lot of my stuff to the warehouse, but I'll drag the body up to where my workshop used to be, just to keep it out of eyesight.
No worries. Throw it in the attic
Ah.
like Christmas lights.
I'm so glad that we're all here, because I have another job for us.
Oh, do go on.
Varaxon has been incredibly impressed with how we've handled things so far, and this is looking good on all of us. We have to find someone who's sadly gone missing. What was the name of the person again?
John friend.
Nakamoto Hiroshi!
Nakamoto Hiroshi?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Alright. We need to find Nakamoto Hiroshi.
Sherbrooke, do I have permission to do some light PvP, no damage?
It's highly dependent on what you do.
Blink, grab your throat.
That's fine.
Okay. You'll understand why probably fairly soon. Pass that browse check. So I go from standing at the foot of the stairs to directly in front of Olivia. Hand on her throat. What did you fucking say?
And did say that this might be of interest of somebody in this group. I said Nakamori Hiroshi.
Moto
Nope.
Hiroshi.
Nakamoto Hiroshi.
Pull you in closer. Where is he?
You need to take a breath in and let go of me, please. Breathe in and breathe out.
Elias would pull a chair out beside him. "Oh, Skull, please have a seat. We can all be civil."
I don't want to hear a fucking word from you right now, Elias.
I can make you let go of me if you do not.
Daisy will sit on the floor and just start going,
He'll let go. He will not take a breath because he is not blushed. And he will not sit down, but he does let go.
Cue. And she'll brush herself off slightly.
Now, where is he?
Okay, I'm gonna need Storyteller to remind me.
Flimsy Land.
Flimsyland, Tokyo.
It's the
Which is
place
also
Storms out the
where
door.
it's the place where all dreams come true and get broken.
Yeah. Skull immediately leaves.
Wow.
Like, he just storms out the door.
Man, if I had some weed, I'd totally roll him a joint.
Yes, that may have helped with his temperament.
Right? He needs to chill.
Too much pent-up anger. Now, I believe
Alright.
he's already on his way. Should we make our way?
Coming back down the stairs. Yes, that's put away nice and dealt with. Oh, where did Skull go?
There you go.
He's
Yeah.
going to Flimsy Land.
I believe
Well-
Flimsyland, Tokyo was his location.
Well, I suppose if all of us go, that would increase our chances of success. Although, we're not supposed to go to Tokyo, are we?
No, it's
I
in
thought-
Chiba.
Oh, very well, we're allowed to be in Chiba. But
Yes.
why would they name a place in Chiba Tokyo?
I am not sure.
You know, if only someone here would be able to explain it. Too bad we
It's
don't
such
have
a
anybody
mystery.
knowledgeable. Yes, absolutely. Terrible.
Hmm. But anyway, we should make our way there.
To
I would like to
Tokyo,
get this
right?
done. Yes, to Tokyo Chiba.
Excellent.
How would you like to get there? You can take the people carrier, or you can take the monorail. Monorail.
Apparently, we're taking the monorail.
Yeah, Skull
Oh,
has to
it's-
take the monorail. His vehicle isn't there. He doesn't have his vehicle anymore.
It's also a Simpsons reference when they had a monorail. Mono. Don't! If you take the monorail, you'll be able to catch up with Skull. You probably all know this as well. So I don't think it's a good idea leaving a furious Bruja on the monorail alone at night.
Yes.
Absolutely nothing can go wrong with this scenario. I don't know what you're talking about.
Monorail?
It's probably a good idea
Yeah.
to ask Daisy.
You'll take several trains, catching up with Skull, and eventually you'll meet up at the monorail station in Funabashi. Catch and board the train that takes you to the end of the route on Flimsy Land, finding Skull in his own carriage. Quite a feat at night to actually make every single kind, not that there would be many, leave the carriage and take seats in the same carriage as him, joining him. Is there anything you would like to talk about en route?
Where are we going?
Zealand.
Why?
I don't know.
To find shit. I should have written the name down. Nakamoto
Hiroshi.
Hiroshi.
Skull uses
good.
Daunt.
I figured you'd already have popped it, and that was what made everyone fuck off out of the carriage apart from them.
Nope, Skull is intentionally just reactivating it even though they're alone.
Okay.
Elias would have sit down beside Skull. Skull, is there something that's bothering you? Something you want to talk? You know I'm always here to listen.
The person they took is one of mine.
Oh, I see. Is this individual important to you?
Elias, keep in mind, despite how frustrated I've been with you lately, I do genuinely like you. So understand me when I say I would murder you in a heartbeat if it would get them back safely.
I don't believe any of us are trying to fight against you, Skull. We're just asking questions.
No,
Um,
directly our
just-
mission to save this person.
Yes,
I understand that, but he asked the question of if this person was important to me, so I thought I would just cut out the middleman and illustrate the importance.
yes, Skull. Of course, I understand. Had I been responsible, you would certainly try to. But luckily, I'm not that sort of person, and it is my intention to help save whoever is in danger.
Who are we saving?
Daisy, I swear
Someone-
to God.
Okay. You're a little spacey.
Are you feeling alright, Daisy?
Yeah, I'm feeling great.
That's good.
And at this dramatic juncture,
Are you are you sure?
Oh.
I was about to say, are you sure you're okay? Are you sure?
I'm always okay, man.
How pleasant.
You don't remember. You aren't remembering the names. You aren't remember. Do you even remember how we got here?
I mean, we got on the monorail, right?
Do you remember how we got to the monorail?
Well, surely we walked.
Surely. So you don't remember.
I'll try and keep you up to date if you feel behind, Daisy. Should be alright.
All right.
Just stick. Well, you're not going to remember me telling you this, but stay close to the.
Daisy, where do you get those pills from?
They just show up.
From where?
I know it's from that Tremere, right?
oh yeah. He's your
Okay.
fixer.
Yeah. I got a guy, a Tremere friend. He makes good stuff.
This bullshit with her memory started happening immediately after she took one of them.
It didn't.
Do you
I
have
haven't taken
any?
one.
Yes, you
Oh.
did. It happened right in front of me.
I mean, trying to convince somebody to remember what they don't already remember, because you remembered it, is like talking to a brick wall. No offense. I just think we'll have to keep track of her, but she's.
Hmm.
I don't really find any hindrance on our current mission.
On the current mission, as long as she can actually remember what the fuck we're doing when we actually get there, no, there won't be a hindrance.
Well, if Daisy's memory becomes a real issue, then I can always fill in the gaps for her. I'm certainly happy to help in that regard.
Such a good guy, Elias.
Of course, Daisy, I'm always willing to help, aid a friend. We are a friendly coterie after all.
Just. I know I stay in with all of us most of the time, but like those nights where I'm not waking up there, can somebody just make sure whether or not she takes one of them that night? That way, if she needs babysitting like she apparently does tonight, she gets it.
No, man, I'm fine.
Daisy, why are we on the monorail right now?
What's
We're
the
going
point?
somewhere.
Yeah, what's the point in constantly reminding
Where
her?
and why? I'm
I
not
don't know, I
reminding
just
her. I'm
follow
proving my
you
point.
guys.
She needs babysitting.
Oh man, I'm fine.
Don't worry, Skull. I'm here to help guide my fellow coterie members, whether or not they are having memory issues or anger issues. I'm certainly here to help watch and guide all of you.
Somewhat. One
Thanks,
of our
Les. You're
more
a great guy.
Oh, you're
one of
welcome,
our
Daisy.
one of our more sneaky people in a tight situation can't remember a goddamn thing right now and is being babysat by an actual pacifist. And we don't know where our sometimes present Archon is. We don't know where Marcelina is. No offense to you, Olivia, because, like, you at least seem to you mostly have your head right on your shoulders, but I don't know what the fuck you do when shit gets tight.
We have to be around together all the time. Marry you guys.
Well, Skull, I think we will all be quite all right. We can certainly handle ourselves. Let's just enjoy the wonderful scenes of the monorail, and if we want, we can sing a song while we enjoy our ride. Maybe try to de-stress and cool off a little bit.
If I hear a single note coming from your throat, I am going to march into the next car and massacre everybody there.
Now, we don't need a masquerade breach on a monorail.
Oh, I don't need to do it with a masquerade breach. I'll just use my knife.
Yes, but who's going to clean it up?
That's the police's problem.
And then it becomes our problem.
If they
Now.
identify me as a vampire.
To limit the amount of problems we have. Elias, if you could refrain from singing, that would be very nice. Though I am sure you have a beautiful singing voice.
Thank you.
I'll sing with you sometime.
Thank
On the
you.
Skull will
press
sit there in
song.
silence unless yeah, Skull will sit there in silence unless directly addressed for the rest of the trip.
And with the threat of a song breaking out, probably, thank you for being my friend, we're going to go to break. I'll be back very soon. into the vast car park of the colossal tourist trap, built up on its own small island for tax reasons to not count as being officially part of Tokyo. The Coterie Park is near to the main entrance as they can and walk out into the flat tarmac car park and the warm night's breeze. Already off in the distance, coming from the main park area itself, is the sound of bone-chilling growls, somewhat familiar to them as the howl of the hated lupine, but strangely different in a way only Skull is familiar with. Hengi yokai. How would you like to begin?
Excuse me, but doesn't that sound like lupine to you all? Does everyone hear that?
Yes. Unfortunately, I do.
Yep.
We should proceed with caution.
Oh, yes, I was going to suggest maybe coming back another night, but I suppose proceeding with caution might be wise as well.
Skull rouses prowess.
Rouse away. Wonderful. You'll feel the vitae working its way through your limbs, torso, and powering your undead muscles in a supernatural way.
And as I just stroll in, well, not even strolling so much as like, I visibly, angrily power walking in.
With prowess as well enabled, the security gates are like wet paper before you and just fold away, allowing you entrance inside.
And knowing that if there's lupines here, they definitely heard that, I'm also roused fleetness.
Rouse away. Wonderful. Gain a hunger. Rest of the coterie following in the wake of the Hulk's damage.
Since it's dangerous, Daisy's gonna slip behind a tree or something and use Sense the Unseen. And Ghost in the Machine.
Roll Sense the Unseen is... So roll Wits
Sense the
Awareness,
Unseen is-
please.
Yeah, neither one of those is
No, Sense the Unseen is not wits awareness. It is, since she's choosing to use it, resolve and aspects.
Passage.
Ah.
Unseen passage.
That's a rouse
Oh,
check.
Unseen
Unseen
Passage. That's a
Passage,
rouse
okay.
check then.
Is it?
Yes,
Unseen
Do
Passage,
a
it
yes.
is a rouse check. And then
Yeah.
if there's reason for someone to try to see you, you roll wits in obfuscate to see if you're seen.
Sense the unseen, then.
Resolve and Auspex.
Okay. Give me a second because I don't have that set.
Like
I'm
stick with it,
willpowering.
Olivia.
Nah, I'm willpowering.
You know what you want and you're going for it. And you get it. And you will see that there is some unfamiliar aura over this park. It's not quite like anything you've seen before, but there is something here. On the plus side, at least you know it isn't a wraith of any kind.
As we're gearing up to kind of be alert, I think Elias would use Sense the Unseen as well.
Solve or specs?
Can I assume they're using Sense and Unseen while I am behind a tree using Unseen Passage?
Oh yeah, they're
So
not looking at
Lead
you.
each other out.
Sticking with it, Elias, or would you like a reroll?
Sure, I'll do a reroll. I got some willpower.
Because you're not going
Oops, sorry, ignore that.
Oh,
I hit the wrong button.
you want the WP reroll button
Yep.
underneath the willpower
I-
tracker.
So it's going to be 3.
And you will also see this strange, unfamiliar aura. Everyone heading in?
Yes.
A large park is filled with small closed food stands designed to look like small rickshaws, but actually embedded into the ground. The area is filled with various shut-down rides. However, a roller coaster is still on and active, its lights on the ground proving a vast cutting beam across the darkness veiled over the land before it. Atop the highest peak, 2 flashing lights can be seen that Skull instantly recognizes as something attached to a homemade explosive. Running along the track, occasionally falling and swinging between support beams, is a creature, clearly a lupine, but of an exotic and unknown breed, unlike anything anyone in the coterie have witnessed before. The only other attraction open is the funhouse, its own lights barely making any difference to the general vicinity. Its own lights not making any difference over the roller coaster's own, but at least shows that it is active. What would you like to do?
I head for the roller coaster. Just because it looks fun.
And you'll see...
She doesn't remember
Swing
why
around.
she's there.
Yeah. And you'll see swinging around like Tarzan is this 12-foot tall, salivating, furry killing machine, seemingly protective of whatever it is at the highest peak of the roller coaster, with a ladder that runs along the peak as well that you could use to climb up if you so wished.
Daisy will forget that she's invisible and hide.
No problem.
This place is pleasant.
Go ahead.
Do any of you know what that is? Pointing at the not lupine.
Looking at it with Sense the Unseen, would we see anything different?
It would have the same aura as a regular lupine.
Okay.
It's oh, go
Hang
ahead,
on, Olivia.
Oh, I was gonna say, can I scry its soul? But
Show me Scry the Soul.
okay, let me get it up. That's the button, right? It's
Ooh.
intelligence or specs versus I think it's composure resolve. I could be wrong. I don't actually have that much information of it up here. Ah,
Composure and
Thank you.
subterfuge.
Mhm.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Roll away.
Lovely. I might even rouse for this, actually.
It's not worth it.
I didn't get hungrier anyway, so it's fine. Yes!
Jeez, incredible.
That's what I wanted. The critical.
There's one pissed off lupine. You have no idea. It doesn't seem to be under the influence of any outside effects or anything like that. It is just naturally pissed off and it is angry about it.
And for the critical, I believe on a critical success. Sorry, trying to find it. Does it say so in here?
Something
Critical win allows
undetected.
discovery of something unexpected as determined by the storyteller.
Ooh.
So you usually get
Something unexpected about a lupine. It likes romantic comedies.
He loves belly rubs.
Everyone loves belly rubs.
Could be something about the human life or anything.
What they're doing.
It is here to destroy this place as it is an affront to Gaia.
Well, it definitely looks like a lupine. And it is definitely here on a lupine mission. Wants to destroy this lovely, lovely place.
Well, surely I don't think any of us would mind if it destroys this place.
I would rather it take its anger out on this place than me.
Yes.
Certainly.
Good boy, the good boy.
Do we want to move towards the lupine or elsewhere?
Skull will say, "Look, I don't give a shit what you do to this place. Somebody that is important to me was taken. I want to get them out of here. Once that's done, fucking level it. I don't give a shit." Do you need me to roll anything?
Nope.
As soon as he begins shouting things at the lupine, is there a shadowy area within, like, a few steps of where we're sitting at?
Yes.
I would like to go and use my thing to hide.
Oh yes, level 2 thing to hide. Yes.
It's not even level 2, it's level 1.
Oh, is that the art of standing so still you become invisible?
Yeah.
Darker shadows, yep.
But you can't move.
Nope. But hopefully it won't see me. Remember, their eyesight's based on movement.
Are they a T-Rex?
Solomon walks into one of the few shadowed areas and wills the vitae around various parts of his body in an attempt to no longer be seen. When behind him, the entire coterie hear.
God damn it.
And standing over the coterie is a 12-foot-tall, salivating lupine with blood already dripping from its almost arm-length razor-sharp teeth. Their long, threatening claws almost glisten under the moonlight and roller coaster lights. Fuck you gonna do now, Dave?
Are we
But
just
does he
fucking
see
ignoring
me?
the fact that I said I don't want none of y'all? I just want to get the person that's important to me that was taken, and I'll happily leave y'all to your destruction.
I think you have to say it in that language.
I think we stink too much of worm taint.
Negotiations have been very difficult. Gonna run to the funhouse? I ain't sticking around for this.
I'll let you do that.
Yeah. Like, they're clearly here. They don't have anybody. They don't seem to have anybody.
You sure? Are you sure this is what you want to do?
I'd like to follow Olivia to the funhouse.
They have not yet shown me they have anybody that is important to me.
That's fair.
Nor have they said or done anything that suggests they're willing to communicate such to me. So unless they're going to try to stop me, I'm going to try to find the person important to me.
That's fair. All right. It's going to be a short one this week. The kindred enter into the funhouse, a large room full of mirrors. The second the coterie step into the room, it is filled, oh shit, with an ominous, loud noise. Piercing, a piercing, ominous voice. Oh, fuck off. I'm just going to play the sound effect. Fuck you all. No, I can't even play any fucking sound effect. Okay, I've got it. Sorry, everyone. I was not prepared for this. I thought you would want to, like, kill werewolves.
Face your true nature.
The coterie find themselves split and separated from others within the coterie. Olivia is on her own. Elias and Skull stand bewildered and angry, respectively, leaving Daisy and Solomon. Disjointed. In front of the disjointed coterie stand mirrors. Images at first reflecting themselves, but slowly leaving focus, as each of them sees something different. Who would like to gaze into the mirror first?
Question.
I will. Oh, question first.
If you're obfuscated, can you be seen in a mirror?
You can see yourself, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, like it is a mind trick that affects other people. You can see yourself, others still
Well,
can't
my
see you.
question is if everyone else could see me too, but if I can just
No,
see myself, my question.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Skull stares into the mirror as the vision fades in and out of focus until finally staring back at him is his own reflection without makeup, the familiar equipment held in his arms to place explosives, and he remembers that night long ago before he was forced to seek shelter in the land of the rising sun. Please do a frenzy test for me at difficulty 6.
That's a hell of a fucking difficulty.
Wait until you see what the others have got.
No modifiers?
No modifiers. Skull gazes at his previous visage, and the beast screams in terror at him. You are suffering from terror frenzy, and you need to run.
There's nowhere to run. You've boxed me in.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to turn around and with my increased might, I am going to start pounding away where the exit once was.
We will come back to that. Who would like to gaze into the mirror next? And face
Just
your true
real
nature.
quick.
Yes.
Yeah, just real quick.
Yes, you, the crippled one, with no working legs.
How do you see that on camera? I'll let Elias go first because he raised his hand. But we've been teleported here. I'm no longer hiding under a tree.
I mean, just go with it. You will run. It's either that or you can fight a werewolf on your fucking own. Which would you prefer?
I prefer the one without the lupine.
Right.
I'm just making sure I've got the vision in my head correct.
Right.
Okay, go ahead, Elias.
Elias will gaze into the mirror.
Elias gazes at the mirror, focusing as hard as he can on the visage reflecting on the mirror's surface back at him. Slowly focusing in front of him is the scene he faced those nights ago, when the beast took his every move, and he fed upon his friend. The beast stirs within him, as some of all his rage and furious anger. Please do a frenzy test for me, please. Difficulty 5.
Retro.
Craven, you look into the mirror, and you see, standing in front of you, Captain Morgan. The beast stirs within Elias, screaming in righteous fury and anger. You are now in a fury frenzy. And you are with Skull, who is in terror frenzy trying to get away. And you're really pissed off, Bob Ross.
Huh. Okay. Should I describe my actions now or later?
You don't get to. You're not riding a wave. Who would like to gaze
Someone's
into
getting
the mirror
the bugaboo
next?
out of them. Unless somebody else is.
Forgetting that I'm obfuscated, I will look at myself in the mirror, not even thinking anything of it.
Daisy looks into the mirror, watching the reflection descend into pitch black darkness as out of the two glowing red eyes pierce into her, and she merely hears the words blood, feed, hunger calling out to her. Do a frenzy test for me at difficulty 6. You are in terror frenzy. The visage of whatever it was that awoke in the week of nightmares, crawling into you through your own shared blood, and you must escape. Solomon.
I'm assuming I can't forget a frenzy.
No, but did you minus a 1 from the difficulty?
No, I did not.
So you should be doing difficulty 5, not 6, but because it is base 6.
But I still wouldn't have made it.
Oh yeah.
I only got 3.
What a shame.
It's like you planned it or something.
Solomon!
Yes.
You want to look in the mirror?
I mean, what else would I do? Find a lupine? Hell no.
Solomon looks into his own reflection that slowly comes into focus as his own body slowly mutates into a large mass of flesh, claws, and rage. The visage of his own twisted body crafted into a form hideous to his own self. Please do a frenzy test for me at difficulty 5.
Okay.
You are in
Damn.
fury frenzy. Of all the people, I thought you might have actually succeeded at this. You and Elias.
Same.
Yeah. What a shame. What a shame. What a shame. And that leaves Olivia.
She'll be investigating the mirror, but if she gazes into it, she's gazing into it. But she'll approach it not to look at herself.
Makes sense.
Mood. Olivia wills the reflection into focus, seeing it coming into view of dozens of kine laying at her feet, suffering, ill from her own administration of medicine. Please do a frenzy test for me. Difficulty 4. Because you're already fucking nuts.
Bad time, somebody succeeded.
Elias and Skull, I would think that the both of you, for different reasons, are punching at these mirrors, desperately trying to get out. One of you is pissed off and really mad about it. You want to take these mirrors and do something really stupid. And the Skull just wants to get out. Both of you, strength and brawl, please.
Does
Yes.
this count as combat? I am beating what, as far as I'm aware, something that's an inanimate object, so.
Mood. Yeah, that'll count.
It's combat?
Yeah!
Okay. Then in that case, I'll roll my normal dice and I get a +4 damage modifier from potence.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, wouldn't you
Just
get that
wanted to-
anyway? Even if it was out of combat for prowess?
Outside of combat, because it is a strength roll, I get extra dice based on my potence rating.
Oh, it's combat.
Okay.
Go with combat.
Okay. So no dice, damage modifier is at the end. Cool.
Try to stick with it.
No, we're going to spend willpower.
Roll those 3 dice.
Mhm.
Perfect.
Turned it into a 7.
Skull smashes the mirror in front of him and charges forward, breaking several more that obscure him, leaving Elias left behind as another mirror slots into place, forcing Elias to go a certain path forwards. Furiously, he stamps forward, smashing pieces of what appeared to be mirrors, but were in fact just panes of glass. Solomon and Daisy. Daisy is in terror frenzy.
We
Solomon,
both are.
are you terror frenzy as well?
Oh, no, sorry. No, I am in fury. You said fury. My mistake.
Solomon, you approach one of the mirrors or panes of glass, you're unsure which, and begin to smash against it, the only thing you possibly can to take out your frustrations, as Daisy curls into a ball behind you, rocking back and forth, saying about pineapples. Solomon, strength and brawl.
Okay. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, it would be strength and brawl. I was trying to think if even though he's angry and uncontrollable, would he have the sensibility to maybe pull his gun out and shoot it?
Nope.
Okay.
You're a
I
ball of
figured that,
righteous
but
fury
I
and
asked.
anger, and you need to put
Yes,
your
sir.
fists on this.
Okay.
Cain and Lilith.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to ask because that's how much my dice pool is.
Okay, that's fine. And as you begin to rattle your fists on the mirror, you fall backwards, reflecting off of it being too powerful. You trip over Daisy and realize that the way behind you is open. And the both of you begin to walk along the twisted labyrinthine maze of mirrors and glass. Olivia, you're in control. What would you like to do?
Just in a room just with the mirror, and she'll look around to see if there's any exit within her little room.
Wits and awareness for me, please.
Lovely.
Perfect. You see to your right what appears to be a completely open door, and make your way towards it. It doesn't take you long to reach the exit, and standing before you is a sickly-looking figure, broken teeth, bearing a macabre smile, as he hisses out at you.
My. Isn't this a surprise? Hello, friends.
Meanwhile, inside, the rest of the coterie eventually find their way together, through paths formed in front of them, guiding them forwards with only one direction before them, until finally all meeting together without Skull, who is lost, caught in his own beast-induced terror, until he is blocked from moving. The rest of the coterie stand in the room, as the wall seems to fall to the ground in front of them, revealing a window, and see Skull there, the beast consuming him. The thick glass window, the coterie can even hear him, thanks to a speaker in the corner of the coterie's room. Skull, coterie, everyone, what would you all like to do at this point?
How do you
Yeah,
get in there?
How did we all get in here?
I don't remember.
Neither do I. And that's the weird part.
Oh, good. See, it's not just me.
I don't know. I was following Skull, but I was lost in the anger. I must have taken a different path or something.
Am I out of my frenzy?
Yes. You've smashed enough mirrors. Everyone is out of their frenzy in some way, shape, or form, either through smashing mirrors or coming into this safe room for now. And
You mean
Hengi
I'm
Yokai.
strangling Elias for no reason?
I mean, there's always a fucking reason to strangle Elias.
All right, so. Where is everyone else?
You'll be able to see them, by the way. The mirror it's not a mirror, it's just a window in front of you. They can
Just a
see you,
window.
you can see
Okay.
them. They can hear you talk, but they wouldn't know that. They wouldn't be able to talk to you. Whether or not they know that, though.
You'll put a hand on the window. Is this a new scene?
Yes.
I'm aroused potence.
Okay.
When
Do not hunger.
Skull puts his hand on the glass, Elias would put his hand on the glass too.
Oh. As soon as he does that, just
He's at the zoo.
Don't worry, Skull. We'll get you out there.
just
You will and always be my friend.
I saw that coming.
he'll just he'll point at everybody and just move.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the edges of the window or like around the window and see if there's maybe like a button or a mechanism to maybe open it up or
What kind of fun house has buttons in it?
hidden ones that are probably backstage, but you know.
I am going
I'm
to
trying
try. I am going to try to slam my fist into it hard enough to break it.
Strength, brawl. This is not a combat move. You get more dice that way, right?
Yay! I get 4 more dice that way. Yes. That is significantly more dice. I am even going to surge strength.
Okay.
Brawl. Strength. That is a total modifier of 6. What's my difficulty? Oh, no, never mind. It'll tell me. Oh, hey.
Turned out even better. You slam your fist into the glass.
Mm-hmm.
It makes a small, unhappy noise. And then you notice out of the corners of each pane, almost like a wave reflecting back, and the sum of all of your fury is brought back into your face, and you are thrown backwards. You take 9 damage halved to 4, and the glass remains intact.
Superficial, obviously, 'cause
Yes.
it was halved. Okay, just, yeah, verifying, yeah.
Do wits and awareness for me, please.
In Soviet
me?
Russia, the glass hits you.
That's why it's called a pain.
But that wasn't what it was for me?
Wits and awareness is for you, please, yes.
Okay.
You'll look around as you fall backwards, and you see... Are these walls closing in on me?
Is there anything that suggests the ceiling is something that I can grab onto and get over these moving walls?
Another mirror. Handy in some people's houses.
Unfortunately, I didn't pay for that here, so I'm kind of pissed off. Fuck.
This funhouse wouldn't be infested by rats, would it?
It certainly could be. It is Flimsy Land. Their mascot is a rat.
Is it really?
Yep, Ricky Rouse.
I hate it.
I would like to attempt to send a rat into where Skull is entrapped.
Do a rouse check for me, please.
Uh,
And the rat gives you a little salute. Scampers off. And is attempting to find a way in. Skull, you can still talk to the coterie, by the way.
Yeah.
And the walls are now beginning to close in around you.
Does anybody see an escape route I don't?
That's why I sent the rat in.
I'm looking for some kind of mechanism, sorry.
I'm going to assume no, because I can't hear you.
Elias would think for a moment, and knowing that these mirrors show odd illusions, he would try to shout towards Skull, not knowing Skull can't hear him. Skull, use the saw. Look into the mirror, see what you saw, and saw your way out.
It'll work well for lip reading.
I can't believe you just used that riddle. That's amazing.
Knowing that punching the walls is a terrible move. Hashtag shit move. We're go.
The last tweet he ever sent.
I'm start to look around. Are there is there more mirrors anywhere?
You are
Because
surrounded by mirrors.
except for the
closing
one
in
wall
on you.
through which I see them.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna try to put my hands on the wall and just kind of push back on it. And no matter where I am, my gaze is gonna kind of invariably fall on it. So.
And as you do so, the visage of the prince comes to focus in the mirror, and you hear, splitting through your skull,
カル、あなたはカンマリラと最悪の犯罪を犯しました。あなたは別の魂を消費しました。私たちは常に監視されており、これは許可されません。あなたの魂は私たちのものです。
Skull. This is just for Solomon, of course, because everyone else speaks Japanese. You have committed the worst crime you can within the Camarilla. You have consumed the soul of another. We are always watching, and this cannot be permitted. Your soul is ours. And the mirrors begin to accelerate, closing in on you. If there is anything you would like to say to the coterie, now would be the time.
Fuck. Solomon. And Elias, try to keep an eye on on Daisy. If she's going to keep taking them pills. Livia, wish I could have gotten to know you better. Elias. Don't lose who you are. And tell Marcelina I still trust her. I'm gonna rip off the dog tags, throw it towards that window, just in case they happen to survive.
A hand.
And give those to her.
Hand starts to reach out from the mirror, followed by another and another, all silver and glistening, and finally grasps Skull, just as another grabs him from behind, but it is too late. He is thrown to the floor and dragged with force across the floor, and is slowly enveloped into the mirror. Skull, just as you are dragged into the mirror, what are your final thoughts?
I'm a Bruja. If I get a chance to get out of this mirror, the first person I'm coming for is the fucking prince.
Skull is finally placed inside of the mirror. For only a brief moment he is seen inside of the frame, a look of fury upon his face, until the mirrors break and explode across the floor. The lights dim for a brief moment, and to the coteries left, the door opens to the night, where they can see Olivia talking with an unknown skeletal figure standing next to Violet. And as Skull has just been violently wrought into the mirror that then broke, Daisy, if you remember it, what are your thoughts and feelings?
I'd say she at least remembers that much. She is kind of confused because she doesn't know why she's there. She doesn't know what to feel, really. I mean, obviously there's loss. She hates seeing anyone get killed. But he was harsh in her vibe. But she feels guilty for feeling that as well.
Elias! You have the most humanity out of the whole coterie. You were asked not to change specifically. What are your thoughts and feelings having watched this horrible death in front of you?
Yeah, Elias certainly won't change the path that he's. I feel like once the end started coming close for Skull, I feel like Elias probably would have averted his gaze, and not watch the painful sight, because it's something Elias wouldn't want. Even if there's not going to be any blood or gore, I don't think Elias would want to see that. It's like Elias definitely wants to save and protect people and guide them towards enlightenment. And it seems to Elias that this death is not enlightenment. It looks more like a imprisonment. And I think would everyone have heard what the mirrors said or not?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Elias is thinking that perhaps this is the consequences of diablerie in Japan. The ultimate sin the ultimate consequence.
Solo Man. Hi. What are your thoughts and feelings having just witnessed this?
Well, considering the manner at which he was dispatched, it was hard to watch, but Solomon did intrigue at the process. And the last thing he probably thought was, I'll never get to show him I'm killing someone. How sad.
Would you all like to make your way out of the not-so-fun house? Anything you'd like to do before you leave? Don't all rush me with ideas.
I want to go to Burger Emperor.
Fair enough. Elias, as you are walking out, you will find the dog tags with the ring attached as well, and pick them up and pocket them. Nakotri walk out into the night, meeting with Violet and this strange new figure and Olivia. And that is where we shall call it in for the night. Thank you all for coming and watching. I'm very sorry that just as we got raided, we're coming to the end. But we appreciate you nonetheless. With that said, Olivia, who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
Hey, Phoebe at Sherbrooke Wood. At Sherbrooke Waters on all things. I've been playing Olivia the Malkavian. I do Murder Mystery Mondays on my channel, and I am in a V5 Dark Ages game on Zeit_Poltergeists channel every Friday morning for me, so Thursday night in the States.
Excellent. I nearly forgot that all of our players have been made using the V5 Vampires Players Guide, the unofficial one from our good buddy Bully, over on Tablegoth, which you can pick up here. It's a steal and extremely useful. Elias! Who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
I'm Nuskavian. I play Elias. I just play this game every Friday. I hang out in Discord. You might have to at me or DM me several times before I notice. Even then, it might take a couple hours. But yeah, that's about it.
Nitro! Why do you keep buying new shoes? You never fucking use them. Who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
Well, when I put the pant legs over them, it tricks people into thinking that I do have legs. Anyway, you can follow me practically anywhere at NitroType. I will let Miss Hearts go into a little bit more detail on it, but we have a wonderful play-by-post part of our Discord server. So if you want to partake in that, it's also using V5, and it's story told by Miss Hearts and Shiv. So join the Discord, and then in the rules channel on the top left, there's a little section that tells you how to enter a character sheet to be approved, and then you can go from there.
Daisy! You! What are you doing? Do you do things? Let's find out.
What you doing? I am Ms. Hearts. You can find me just about anywhere as Ms. Hearts. I am not as flighty as Daisy. I swear. Like I said, you can find me just about anywhere as Ms. Hearts. I am trading on and off with Shiver Storytelling, the play-by-post in our channel. I am also a part of the Bat City Bombshells Burlesque, and we are having our next show on May 28th at Kick Butt Coffee here in Austin. Follow the link, that'll give you more info. And if you need any graphic design or promotional products, go to gibopromo.com.
I like it. Last! This is going to get weird. Not least, Skull! Who were you? What did you do? No, that doesn't work. Who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Shall we find out?
Yes, we shall. Good evening, everybody. I am the friendly neighborhood comic book joker. If you enjoy play by post and you want something that's more in depth than the one that they have a Table of Horrors, which for the record is still fucking fun and awesome and stuff. But if you want something a bit more in depth, come along over to Cajun Nights, where we have plenty of V5 Vampire the Masquerade going on. We also have homebrewed versions of Werewolf the Apocalypse, Changeling the Dreaming, and Mage the Ascension, all of which have been homebrewed into V5 standards for cross splat play. This may be the last you see of Skull, but this will not be the last you see of me here. Stay tuned. As we say, sayonara to the Bruja.
That's everything. Thank you all for coming. I greatly appreciate it. It's great that people come and watch us pretend to be vampires. Tomorrow is part 1 of a limited run Star Trek Adventures Chronicle with some of the folks over at Soul Citizens. That is starting 7:30 JST, 22:30 or 23:30 UTC. Some hours ago.
Sorry,
Nitros of
I'm
mine.
muted. 2022.
22:30 UTC, right here. Tune in for that. Check out the links down below, either side of my name, apparently, for Twitter, YouTube for archived episodes, and other good, glorious things. We will go raiding on D-Written, who is a wonderful, wonderful human being. But we can't go until it's got to be Skull says the line.
Good evening, everybody. This is your new Lord. Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on, I've skipped a bit. Good night, everybody. I hope you had a great time.